Everybody, we're live. Hey, everybody. Hey, chat room. Welcome to the watch along. This is a preview show. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to hit record and we're going to do a little quick preview for the show. So it's going to be interesting. So let's do this in 3, a 2, and a 1. Hey, everybody, welcome to our Matmen special NXT Takeover Vengeance Day watch along on this love-filled Valentine's Day. I'm Andrew Zarian. Of course, I'm joined by the love machine, Rich Stambolian.
Ooh, yeah, baby. I could do that for another 45 minutes at least.
What's going on, guys? This is going to be a lot of fun. So this is our second watch-along here on the F4W Online, obviously, WrestlingObserver.com YouTube account. And the first one, people loved it. People had a great time. I got to meet so many awesome, both of us, we got to meet so many awesome people in the chat. We got John in there, Dan, the Heel Synergy, Sex Machine. See, Sex Machine, perfect name. You're the love machine.
Beautiful.
Now we got a Sex Machine in here. Ryan's in here. So we got a bunch of people here. But I think this is awesome. It's a whole great group of people. And what better way to watch a pretty cool pay-per-view, which is NXT, right? Because generally they're always decent. I don't think we've had a bad takeover as far as, the grand scheme of wrestling goes. We've never had a takeover that we're like, oh, that sucked. But, we're in a very much a transitionary period in this company. But I'm anticipating a great show here. Well, how about you?
I'm liking it, man. Listen, these NXT shows are great for two reasons. One, they're very tight. There's 5 matches tonight, and we're not gonna be here till like 12 o'clock, kind of like burning our eyes out, right?
Yeah. Well, that's always the best thing. So you can see right now the show has begun. The pre-show for NXT. They have a nice shot at the arena. It actually, I got to tell you, it is an impressive looking building considering this is the same performance center that looked so stale for the early, obviously the early half of this global pandemic. It was a really stale setup, and they've done a tremendous job with the LCDs and the caged in crowd. Do you think it's made a difference for them?
I think aesthetically, anything that can boost morale aesthetically will work. I think this specifically has worked for NXT. It makes the NXT shows that much more fun to watch as opposed to like a Raw or SmackDown. When I turn on Raw or SmackDown, I feel like my eyes want to melt because of just like it's that LED whirlwind is too much for me sometimes. This is perfect. Yeah,
no. This looks great. Sam's out there, so that's fine.
That's your boy.
That's my boy. This is look who they have out there. Another Barstool guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. The new wrestling podcast on Barstool being represented here with their host. The name passes me. I gotta find the name out, but I believe that's him, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's one of the Barstool guys.
So what do you let's run down this because we got so many people already. Everybody's piling in the chat room. We got about 50 people here on the F4W YouTube account. Guys, if you're enjoying this, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button here on F4W Online. We just passed 70,000 subscribers here in God, I mean, I want to say they've been doing this for about a year now with the growth. It has been tremendous. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button here. Let's get some more people in. Well, obviously, you can sign up for a membership to the F4W YouTube account. You could do that also, obviously, on their Twitch account. But we're going to be talking about YouTube here today. If you're enjoying us, if this is the first time that you're watching us, give us a shot. Listen, we're not as cool as Dave and Brian, all right? I don't have that Dave Meltzer muscle or that Brian Alvarez judo background, his jiu-jitsu background. However, I am wearing a pretty sweet Bullet Club shirt right now, and Rich is having some Pepsi. So,
hey, listen, nobody said we were cool dudes, but you better listen to us.
Listen, we got radical dudes stuff. If you're watching this, listen, we're gonna have some fun over the next couple hours. Also, check out Matt Men here on YouTube, Matt Men Podcast here on YouTube. You can follow us. We're on YouTube. We're everywhere podcasts are available, including the F4W Online website, the Wrestling Observer website. We're there. We have so much more stuff going on the next few weeks. It's going to be a very busy time, but we're getting an early glimpse of what happened here in the building. You got Pete Dunn now coming into the building, preparing for his NXT title match. Let's run down the card. What do you say, Rich?
Yeah, dude. Let's do it. I got it right in front of me.
Yes, Look at my notes. I'm like
Look at that.
Walter Cronkite here of Pro Wrestling Podcasts.
Yeah, you got to go paperless, man. It's 2021.
No. More paper. I'm just wasting more and more paper. That's my goal for
you're
2021.
You're that guy. You're just printing one match on each sheet.
Do you know, I got to tell you, like, these are MG Geek's notes, our producer. This is from last, obviously, a little behind the scenes stuff. This is
Shout out to
Thursday.
Mr. Gonzo.
I literally sit there and I just doodle all over them, and I circle certain words like housekeeping. I have no idea why I circled housekeeping on here. I just did, and I drew a kite next to it, apparently. There are my notes. There you go. So, Rich, here.
Oh, boy.
Let's go this card.
All right, so I'm using a computer, and I'm able to pull this up digitally. Did you write? You wrote down the matches on those notes?
Yes, I have. I hand wrote each one in calligraphy.
Oh, nice. Let's see. Johnny Gargano versus Kushida, singles match for the North American Championship. I think Kushida takes it, freeing up Johnny Gargano to do something else.
Well, I mean, here's the big question, right? Okay, so Gargano and Ciampa obviously have been the backbone, and Cole, right? Essentially for the last 3 years for that company. They've been the backbone. They've been the guys that have been busting their balls. Every show going at 100%, really being the driving force. And they are probably, interestingly enough, they are the first, I'm not going to use the term homegrown, but they identify more with NXT now than anything else that they've done in the past to a large segment of the audience.
Yes, 100%.
And they've stuck around. These guys are NXT at this point, and we haven't really seen that in the past because look at this poster from 2016 here. Everybody's moved up, or they've left the company.
Right. Yeah.
So except for Gargano and Ciampa, they are the guys that will build the brand. Rich, where do you see Gargano headed? Let's say Gargano drops the title to Kishida. I'm sure these guys are going to have a killer match. Do you put him back in that NXT title picture, or do you start having him work with younger guys and elevating them?
Well, like I mentioned on our show the other day, I think the future of Johnny Gargano lies in a huge feud with Karrion Kross, with Gargano being the ultimate babyface. I think they can lead up to that at some point, but I definitely see him dropping that title tonight. I think a better question is, how long do you see him with his faction? Because they're cool, but does it have legs? I know they're new, but do you think it has legs?
I don't know. I think Austin Theory will have a good future in that company.
Okay,
right?
Sure. I think he's going to be an NXT guy for the time being, right?
Yeah, but he's so young, right? He's like 22, 23 years old, so they have time with him. Yeah. They could develop him. They could do stuff with him. I do see Gargano turning face after this whole heel thing, but it looks like Dexter Lumis may be the next person.
I'm okay with that. I feel like they've done that already, and also I want to preface, not preface anymore because I said it already, but what I mean about Gargano's faction, by Gargano's faction having no legs is that, listen, we've been watching wrestling for a very long time, and you can kind of see if something's going to be a dud or not, right? Like you can kind of see it a mile away. And for now, Gargano's faction is working. I would hope it elevates Austin Theory and Candice and Indy, right?
Yeah. Well, Indy has a long way to go if you're wide. But, I mean, listen, very possible, could be a tremendous star. Very possible. So, I'm going to go, you're going with Kishida. I'm going to go with Kishida also on this match.
All right, 2 for Kishida.
By the way, also, chat room. All the people in the chat room, we're going to be giving away 4 subscriptions. 4 1-month subscriptions to the Wrestling Observer. You can check out all their archives. They have I'm gonna quote Brian here. Brian told me they have about 45 million hours of podcast content on the Wrestling Observer website, dating back all the way to 2005. Millions of hours. You do the math. It's 100% accurate. You don't need to fact check me, but it's 100% accurate. So you could go. I'm popping myself. 45,000 hours of content over there. We are going to be doing this for the next couple hours. But, Rich.
Yes, sir.
We're both going to go with Kishida on this. So what we're going to do, let's do this right now. Okay. If you want a 1-month subscription to the Wrestling Observer, all you got to do is go to our Discord. All right? We got a Discord chat room set up specifically for this. The next 2 people that go right in there and they hang out, we're going to be giving them 1 month subscriptions to the Wrestling Observer website.
Look at that.
All right?
For 45 million hours of content.
For 45 million hours of content. Each Observer is like 18 pages, 1,800 pages. So,
handwritten.
Handwritten. Dave handwrites each and every one of them. So, guys, we're going to be giving it away. First person to go in there, you guys will get it. First 2 people. All right. What's the next match?
All right. We're going to go with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus versus Elbow Moon versus Ember Moon and
what
Shotzi Black.
Elbow
Moon.
Yeah, that's a good gimmick name.
Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. This is for the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. The winners get a future shot at the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, tag team titles. It's a lot of verbiage.
That's a lot. It's a lot of verbiage.
A lot of verbiage. Yeah.
So in this match, Dakota Kai and Raquel, Shotzi and Ember. I do like the team of Shotzi and Ember Moon.
Same here.
So
I think they're winning. That's my vote.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go with them because I feel like they kind of mesh. You know, coming out with the tank, she's howling. Ember Moon has the skulls on her. They kind of blend together, which is nice. It's rare that you could take 2 separate individuals, put them together, and get a good tag team out of it, like that.
Absolutely. I think they have magic, and I think they're gonna end up taking it, and then they're gonna end up facing Nia Jax and Shayna for those belts at WrestleMania. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, is okay? Cool.
I think that would be cool. I think they can. I think that group right there, like Nia, Shayna, Ember, and Shotzi, I feel like that would make a fun match for those belts.
Also, in the chat room, guys, tell us who you think are the winners, the potential winners for these matches. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking here. What else?
All right. We got MSK versus Grizzled Young Vets for another match with a lot of verbiage. The Men's Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Finals. The winners get a future NXT Tag Team Championship match.
All right. So I got to tell you, I am very disconnected from both teams here.
In what way?
MSK, fine. They just came there, right? When did they show up? Like a month ago?
Yeah, give or take.
I don't know. I'm not that connected to these guys. I want to see what they could do, but I'm going to go with MSK on this, but I'm not really crazy about either team in this match.
I'm going to go MSK on this too. I think those guys have like a really bright future, and I feel like having them in a high profile match for the tag belts definitely works for their favor. Yeah. Do you think NXT needs a stronger tag team division?
I think at this point, yeah. They're in a rebuilding process. So look at who they have there as their top guys. Balor, I know, is leaving soon. So I don't think this is the moment for him to drop the title to Pete Dunne, because they haven't really built Pete Dunne as that guy. I mean, they've been teasing it, but he hasn't been in a program with them that long. But I think Balor wins, retains, and then maybe you do some sort of rematch on TV, and then you incorporate the match that we're going to see happen, obviously, probably during WrestleMania, and that's going to be Finn Balor and Karrion Kross with those unbelievable WrestleMania entrances for both guys.
100%, man. That's where it's got to go, right?
Yeah. Hothead asks in the chat room, Andrew, who do you think is going to have the match of the night tonight? I would say, I mean, really, it comes down to 2 people, really, right? 4 people. Either it's going to be Balor and Dunn, or it's going to be Kishida and Gargano.
Don't sell Io Shirai and Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez.
Totally forgot about that, but let's go into that.
So for the NXT Women's Championship, you have a triple threat match: Io Shirai, Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez, formerly of Revolution. Now, is it Revolution? I don't even know anymore. The guys on Raw that nobody seems to dig. She was part of that little group. Io Shirai's had this belt for like 17 years. She's like Bruno at this point. And I think me personally, I think it's time for Toni Storm to get that women's championship.
I think it is time for Tony to get the title. If you are going to pull the title off of EO, this would be the best scenario for you to be able to take the title off of EO without having him lose, technically, right?
Absolutely.
That's how you would end up doing it. And this would be a great moment for Toni Storm. She really is that company for the next couple months, at least 6 months to a year. So might as well put the title on her. Do you move EO now? Do you move her to the main roster?
I think so. I think this is her call-up moment for sure. Because I definitely think, like, as stacked as those ladies' rosters are on Raw and SmackDown, it doesn't hurt to have somebody like Io Shirai showing up, especially now that you're getting Rhea Ripley in some capacity, Bianca Belair winning the Rumble. I think you need that third to kind of inject new blood into the main roster situation. Io Shirai has done all she could on NXT, right?
More than enough.
Yeah, she's
but
like
the big fear though. For me, it's not so much her not doing everything she was supposed to. It's what happens to her when they bring her up to the main roster. Does she disappear? Does she get blended with these ridiculous stipulations and matches that you generally see? That's my concern.
You don't want her to get like turned into like a Lana, basically.
I don't want her to have. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. Listen, I don't think Lana was ever going to be. Lana was never like a wrestler, a wrestler's wrestler, but she had a interesting character that all of a sudden on a whim they decide, no, we're going to go in a different direction, and here you go. And now you got to rework your entire personality, and it doesn't come natural. I think for Io, this character is her.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's easy. It's easy for her to be this person because that's who she is.
I agree with that 100%. How do you feel about Mercedes Martinez?
I think she's great. She's big, but where do you put her? Yes. I think for her, the big program is going to be Rhea Ripley, no?
I think that's said and done. I think I think Mercedes is like the new
giant.
Like giant on female giant on like NXT.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
you never know. I'm glad they kept her on NXT, to be honest with you.
Oh, me too.
She was retaliation in retribution for like a day and a half.
I wonder what made them change their minds on that.
Apparently she requested to not be in it.
Can you imagine?
That's what's floating around.
Writing, she saw the stink on that wall.
Right. Exactly like how we were saying. Like sometimes you can see stuff from a mile away and be like, you know what? Not today, wrestling. Not today.
Yeah, that whole thing has been a disaster, top to bottom. I think something else.
Listen, I think it's fixable. Anything in wrestling is fixable, right? Listen, they fixed Natty from a farting lady into like another formidable force, right? I'll always use that as an example.
That was her gimmick. I think people don't realize that. Natty
had a farting gimmick for almost a year, right? At least in my head, it was like almost a year. It was probably
Wasn't she in love with Khali also? Wasn't she a love interest of Khali?
I believe so. But listen, they can flip it around, right? They totally flip Natty around. You don't even think about that fart stuff anymore.
I cannot believe that was a thing.
That was a thing, dude.
I cannot believe that was a thing, which is amazing to me. That you know what's amazing to me? That she did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Danny in our chat room goes, farting gimmicks? The good old days.
So we have Io Shirai, Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez for the NXT Women's Championship, and your main event tonight, Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne. Again, I'll agree with you. I feel like we've talked about this match on and off for the last couple of weeks. Finn retains. Finn takes on Karrion Kross at WrestleMania. You get two bonkers entrances. And what do you do with Pete Dunne after this?
He's interesting because I feel like when it comes to like Pete Dunne, for example, he got really hot. People were very impressed. He went away for a little bit. I think the whole quarantine thing obviously was a big hit for a lot of people because he couldn't travel. He wasn't on TV as much. But does Pete Dunne become one of those guys in NXT like a Gargano where he's there forever?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like he's a huge asset to the company and to NXT and to that locker room, you know, but I don't see what they could do with that character unless they give him like an extra little tweak. You know, he got himself in phenomenal shape in the last year, but
Dunn? Yeah.
yeah, I think he needs just like a little more to get to that like coveted spot, you know, like Finn. That's the other thing too. Like having Finn with that belt is very natural, right? Like he's a good representation of the company. We all know the belts are props, but I think he's the guy to represent NXT the best at this point with that belt, right? If not Finn, Adam Cole, right? If not Adam Cole or Finn, Ciampa. But Dunn, I'm not saying Dunn is like kind of treading water, but I think he needs like that little extra tweak to really put him over the edge, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not against some of these guys never coming up. And the more, you start seeing the mistakes that happen on the main roster, the more you kind of agree with this concept that, it's not for everybody to move up. NXT can become, because it's on TV now, obviously, it should be its own thing. It should be that, if you're the greatest wrestler ever and you end up in NXT, of course you're going to move up. Of course you're going to do more stuff on the main roster and go a different path. But if the writing is on the wall for you for one or two reasons, right? It could be your size. It could be that you're not a great promo, but people are into you and you do have it. Why not just stay there?
I agree 100%. I mean, at this point, like they're really pushing it as the third brand. So why not? I want to see more swaps in the future, to be honest with you. You know, like let's say like if Finn goes back to the main roster, put KO on NXT or Nakamura or somebody else. You know what I mean? Like have that one of those main guys in NXT be rotated with the main roster. They're probably not going to do that though. David D asked a good question in the chat room. Does Pete Dunne seem less formidable after getting jacked, or is it just me?
You know what? I thought that because he like thinned down tremendously, right? He looks great, but he's like a different guy to a lot of people.
I equate his transformation to Skinny Hogan.
Oh yes, he is like a Skinny Hogan.
Like when Skinny Hogan debuted, you were like, he's still Hogan, but there's something a little weird about him.
Yeah. Eli Drake, by the way, on NXT right now. Oh, he's cutting a great promo. I got to turn it up for this.
Yeah. I got to put the closed caps on this guy right now.
Wow. Great promo.
Has he been on NXT TV before, or is this?
No, this is it.
This is it. This is brand new.
Yeah, brand new.
Wow. It definitely popped Mr. Barrett. Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
How many times do you think you've been in an elevator in the city with Sam Roberts and didn't realize it was him?
I have been around Sam Roberts multiple times in the city. I've seen him just randomly walking by Penn.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a normal occurrence. So very interesting. You got Eli Drake making his debut on WWE TV, on the NXT TV. They let him cut a tremendous promo, an Eli Drake style promo. So he's out of the NWA at this point, and obviously out of Impact. He's been gone from Impact for a while. Do you think he'll make any a splash in WWE? Because he's a phenomenal promo.
I think if they let him run his mouth, absolutely. And you have a lot, like arguably the best promos in WWE could be found on NXT. Do you think Barrett had a hand in that, since Barrett came back to the company and he was part of NWA for a little bit?
It's very possible. I'm going to ask you guys, I'll ask the chat room this too, right? This is the vibe I get from Eli Drake. By the way, Eli Drake is now LA Knight. Is that true? Because I could not hear what they called him. They called him LA Knight. La Knight or LA as in Los Angeles. Either way. I gotta follow up with this because we're doing the show and I couldn't hear it. Mm-hmm. So, isn't he a more refined Ken Kennedy?
Ooh, I don't know, man.
I'm talking about his promo.
Oh, that's a good question. I've always been a fan of Ken Kennedy, Mr. Anderson. And I think he delivers such of those blunt force promos because he's such like a blunt force style dude. I think there's a better comparison out there. Look at your handwritten notes.
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna drown myself if the show goes on more than 3 hours. That's not it.
Oh, that's the one I sent to you in the mail.
After the show's done, make sure to turn the lights off and stand alone in the dark in a depressive state for the next 45 minutes. That's not
I have
it?
that written down too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I have. I mean, that's what I have. Oh no, here it is. What do you think of this? You think I always felt that he had a very much a Ken Kennedy style delivery and aggression in the promos.
I could see it with the aggression, absolutely. Eli Drake, I think being in NXT is the best move for him because they can immediately fine tune whatever they see, what brought him to the dance, you know?
So LA Knight, you think he'll get over with that name?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Listen, Finn Balor got over with the name Finn Balor, right?
Yeah, but you know what though? That name made sense. Isn't a Balor an Irish demon or whatever the hell explanation they had for his name?
Sure. Yes.
You know, I believe that's what they were doing. I'm very interested to see Eli Drake in NXT. Curious to see what he'll do.
It looks like LA Knight is indeed the name.
LA Knight.
All right. Somebody else. Do you guys think, Aaron Banks asks, do you think Jay Lethal will ever go to NXT or AEW?
Will Jay Lethal go to NXT or AEW? I know that Jay Lethal has had an option to go to WWE in some capacity many times in the past. And he hasn't taken it. He's interesting because where would he fit in? Like, would he fit in better in AEW or NXT or WWE?
NWA.
Yeah, but there's no money there. That's the
problem. And Impact.
There's
I could see Jay Lethal going bananas in Impact.
I guess so. I guess you could do that with him on Impact again because Impact has is kind of hot right now. By the way, there's some news over what happened for the Impact tapings. Did you hear about this? How Sammy Guevara essentially decided that he was not going to go and do what they had agreed on.
Really?
So
that's fascinating.
So he was supposed to have a match during the set of tapings. It was agreed on from AEW and Impact. They agreed on this. He was going to go have a match. I've heard some people rumors as to who the match is supposed to be with or was. I haven't been able to confirm anything, but he pretty much flat out said, no, that makes no sense. I'm not doing it. And he didn't go.
That's very interesting.
I'm summarizing it. I'm going to summarize this, right? Obviously, there was more to it, but
yeah,
there's not a lot of heat or anything. He's not, people aren't looking bad at him. The report, I think Sean Ross Sapp reported this, that essentially they know that this is going to happen time to time, time after time with the talent not really wanting to do certain things, and they'll have issues. So it wasn't that any of them were were upset or anything. It just, this is what it is, and he refused to do it.
I find that super interesting, and it's almost carny in a weird way. Also, there was an Impact event last night that we didn't watch.
I did not watch it. I watched some clips of it. I know that there was not a tremendous amount of buzz on the show compared to previous ones. I whatever. It was okay. I saw some clips. It was fine. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't fine. But Impact, they're in a weird growth period right now where they're trying to get their bearings in order. The next couple months are going to be interesting for them to see what they do with all the talent that's going to be coming over, because you saw a vignette of sorts on that pay-per-view, and they were essentially saying Dave Finlay and Juice Robinson are headed to Impact.
Well, now that you mention it, I think the most forbidden of doors is possibly open with the reports that Okada is going to show up at some point.
So here's the report, right? Okada will be showing up either at Impact or AEW. If you're New Japan, what reason would you do Impact over AEW? Where is the benefit in that?
There is no benefit. there's I feel like there's zero benefit. I think ideally, don't you want the situation to be Kenny retaining his title and then all of a sudden the money falls from the ceiling and there's Okada at the top of the stage looking to get the AEW championship?
I mean, that would be phenomenal. But do you do that now? Do you want to do a Kenny Omega Okada, 4?
Tough, right? Tough. Different circumstances, different ring. Like Kenny Okada 4 in the States, I think would be like kind of historic.
But you would have to have a live audience. You would have to have a full building for that. You know what I mean? That's how I'm seeing it as far as, expanding. Brian Rose in the chat. What's going on, Brian? I would have to wait that out. I would definitely want to wait that out because a Kenny Omega and Okada match in the United States, like I said, huge blockbuster show.
Oh, forget it. Yeah, I think they'll do it right too. I mean, we can fanboy about this like all afternoon.
Oh yeah,
or evening or whatever time it is over there in your place. We're in different time zones.
We're in very different time zones here. So interesting. I think there's a lot of moving parts here, and I think right now we've seen one big surprise already that Eli Drake is now LA Knight in. I don't hate the name. Do you hate the name?
Mm-hmm. I'm cool with it. Listen, wrestlers can turn to quote the phrase, wrestlers can turn chicken shit into chicken salad, right?
It's Okada Omega 5.
Double or nothing.
Is it 5? It is 5, I think. I like that. Double or nothing at MGM Grand. Yeah, that would be a tremendous venue. Once the venues are open.
Or double or nothing at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, man. That's, I don't know when the hell they'll be able to run an MSG show.
Mm-hmm.
But here we go. Show's beginning here. You know what? I put the closed captioning on. That was a good suggestion, Rich, because I didn't even think of it. To put the closed captioning on to do this. But
yeah,
guys, we are gearing up for our NXT Takeover Vengeance Day watch along here on F4W. I think this is going to be interesting on how they do this, on how this does, because it's a quick show. So do they just run until 9 o'clock? Because that's a dream come true.
For both of us, wouldn't it be the greatest thing in the world if this was over in a half an hour?
Oh my God. Listen, what? 2-3 hours,
5-minute matches.
2-3 hours, so easy to watch. Especially if it's a pay-per-view, it's a special, it's an easy show to watch. I could do 3 hours. But when you're giving me, a 5-hour show like this, it's rough.
Yeah, dude. It's always tough. I mean, like, we did a 5-hour watch along for the Rumble, and I think both of us were on Jupiter by the time it was over.
Which one was this?
This was the Rumble from a couple weeks ago.
Oh my God, dude, it's too long, man. Really?
Yeah.
Those shows are too long like that. It gets quite difficult. But here we go.
Got to keep that energy up.
Vengeance Day. We're back to the what do you think of them using the names?
I think it's a stupid name, but it's
still
fine.
What do you think of them using the old WWE pay-per-view names?
Listen, I'm cool with that 100%, but I feel like Vengeance Day makes zero sense.
Just call it Vengeance.
They should have just called it Revengeance.
Revengeance. Or St. Valentine's Day Massacre. They could have done that.
They can't do that.
Beth Phoenix there. Vic Joseph.
They're in size order.
They're in size order, obviously, because that's a Vince rule, right?
I think you...
Smallest first, tallest in the back.
I think you would look great in a salmon suit with a maroon tie.
You know what? I wore a suit today. I just took it off. I'm still wearing my dress shoes. I took my daughter out for Valentine's Day. So she always wants me to dress up. So I dressed up in a suit, and I had a bright as F blue suit on. Like,
oh, yeah?
Really bright blue.
Like powder blue.
All right, first match coming up here.
That's cool. Doing the tag match first. That's nice. I feel like this is a good pop.
How long does this go, you think, this match? 20 minutes?
8 minutes, 54 seconds, Mr. Gonzo. If you're keeping time, 8 minutes, 54 seconds.
Time it.
I don't see this one going very long. I think Ember and Shotzi take it elbow moon, as I called her before.
Transferring heat, it makes sense. Because everybody was saying, why not call it St. Valentine's Day Massacre, right? That would be the name to call it. It's on Valentine's Day. How often does this happen? Once every 7 years, right? That Valentine's Day falls, or 6 years with leap year, whatever. But why not use it? Because of the word massacre. They don't want to use the term massacre. There we go. Big boos coming in the building right now for Dakota Kai and Martinez.
The boos are piped in.
The boos are all piped in.
Everything's
There's literally a
piped in.
pipe that goes in the back, and there's a guy that just boos.
I love that they're both coming out on the tank. They look awesome.
They do look awesome. I like that.
If Retribution, if Retribution looked anything like this, I would be so on board. But
dude,
they
this
don't.
this tag team needs to stay like this, right? They need to keep this tag team together. There's no question about it. They fit so well, and sometimes they just fall. Oh, look, she's shooting her cannon already.
They look awesome.
She's howling, she's screaming. They both worship the moon. They're pagans, right? Isn't that their gimmick? One howls at the moon, the other one is a moon.
I think they're supposed to both be like Tank Girl.
It's
they
like
look
a very
great.
Yeah, look at them.
What chemistry between them, right? Like, this is a tag team you want to see.
Yeah.
And they're both, Shotzi has come such a long way. Dakota Kai has come such a long way. Ember Moon, I think, is such a, I'm glad they put her back on the NXT roster.
Oh, at Ember? Yeah. Yeah, she's fascinating because she's very good. She got hurt quite a few times, so that's been her big issue. But, man, you know what? This is a great for both of them. Here's a question. Why is this working for us, right? This works for us. And I think it's working for a lot of people, especially, in the chat room. When you're looking at the chat, people are into this. They like Shotzi. People are into her. Yeah, she's not refined like some other wrestlers, but there's something interesting about her. Same with Ember. Ember's a great wrestler. This is working for her. Good look. Why does this work and the Riot Squad doesn't?
The Riot Squad or Retribution?
No, Riot Squad.
I think because that's an interesting comparison that you just made, but I feel like with Ember and Shotzi specifically, you can really feel their personalities coming through, and it makes you want to see them more. I think the same thing when Dakota Kai turned heel, she injected a million personalities into her stale personality. That's a big whodunit for me. Like, I want to watch people with big personalities come out and do their thing. Shotzi's a good example. I was sold on the Tank. She used to come out on the Tank on the indies with her helmet, and I'm like, that's it. That's all I'm rooting for this person. That's it. I'm very easy to please, like probably a lot of wrestling fans.
But you know what it is? Like, it's a very little pressure gimmick because for her, that's her. Like, for Shotzi, like we're watching right now, double teaming by Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart on Mercedes Martinez. And they're telling a good story how you need kind of both of them to topple this giant in the ring. Here comes Shotzi. Was looking for a bulldog. Couldn't get it. I
like your play-by-play. It reminds me of listening to baseball games in the car.
Do you like it when I do it? I'll keep doing it.
I do. Can I leave if you're gonna do?
yeah. You want to mute the network? I'll just
get out of here,
dude. I'm gonna tell you, it's one of the hardest things. Like, this is very natural doing a podcast and everything. I can sit here, especially talking to you, right? Because we've been friends for 20-something years.
Crazy, yeah.
It's very easy to talk, but I love doing color commentary because I've done it, and it's so difficult when you don't do it often. It's not like getting back on that bike and you're fine. You need to work. You gotta oil the chain a little bit and learn how to pedal again.
Yeah, that's also the name of your finishing move, right?
Learn how to pedal?
Or oiling the chain.
Yeah, but that's on Shantae's finisher.
Oh.
He oils the chain well. Here comes Dakota Kai.
Is Enchante showing up on Valentine's Day?
Oh, no. You know what? I don't think the F4W community and the Wrestling Observer community is ready for Enchante yet.
You know what I love about like the crossing of the promotions now, like how we're kind of under that umbrella a little bit, is how many comments we get about how we're not Dave or Brian. Does it for me.
That we're not Dave and Brian?
Right, like, who are these? I like the who are these guys comments. I'm just going to keep telling
people that we are Dave and Brian.
Sure.
I'm like, what are you talking about? We are Dave and Brian.
I like those comments a lot, and I definitely think the Enchante thing, I just want to see I
It's
feel
gonna
like if
happen.
you, I know it's gonna happen, but I feel like when you do it, and I wake up on a Monday and I see the comments on the feed, that it's gonna be a nightmare, and then a lot of people
Yeah.
are gonna be like, you know what, I'm into it, man. You got an OnlyFans?
I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm waiting to debut it. I'm gonna ease in the audience into Enchante. There's like 5 years of story to explain for Enchante that I can't do in one show. The forbidden door has been opened with Mattman and the F4W community.
That's how Enchante works, right? He eases people into it.
I ease people into it. Yeah, that's how he does it.
Very delicate lover.
Dakota Kai going, wow, look at that. Nice move.
Thank you, Scar Happy. We are the positive East Coast boys.
We are positive East Coast boys. I listen, dude, I love wrestling. And I think everybody here, we got 100 people here watching this. You're here because you love wrestling. So we try to have fun with it.
They're here for the beards.
Great teamwork, by the way, by Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart here. You could tell that they're really working them together as a strong tag team. I hope they keep them together, but when that breakup does happen, natural program between the two of them. Very much like this. It's rare for me to get so behind a new act like this. I'm really behind this. I think I'm behind it because my hair is slowly resembling Ember Moon's at this point. And that's my end goal here. I'm just going to grow it out the same color and just dye green on the bottom.
I want to see you dye your hair, man. I want to see you. You know what? If you dye your hair, I will dye my hair Dakota Kai fuchsia.
I would tempt the audience with some sort of super chat to do this, but I'm afraid we'll be able to do it.
You know what's going to happen? If honestly, if you said, hey, let's try and raise $500, I'll dye my hair green, I bet you will hit that number in like an hour.
Oh, I know that. And I can't because I have a very professional day job.
What would happen if you showed up at your day job with completely
green hair?
like a green hair, like just green head?
Would
you get laughed out of the building?
You know what? I think they're all pretty much aware how nuts I am. They would just be like, "Oh yeah, Andrew just decided to dye his hair green." I'm sure someone paid him to do it. I mean, that's the joke that I'm a cam girl essentially. Oh my
You're
God.
like a shill. Do they think you're a shill?
They think I'm they think I'm a cam girl. That's pretty much how they describe my job, my living.
We already have people saying, "I'll put money in on it."
You know what? I'll do something for WrestleMania. Why don't we put that on the table?
Can I see you in Seth Rollins' classic blonde streaks for WrestleMania?
Oh my God! Well, you know what? I'm also just a little reminder. I'm also married, and I don't think my wife will be very happy.
You got 2 kids too.
I got 2 kids. Yeah,
you got 2 adult kids, man.
I got a 30-year-old and I got a 40-year-old.
I can't believe they're getting married this year.
Yeah. Both my kids are getting married this year. My 40-year-old his second marriage, and my daughter's first.
Shame what happened to that first marriage.
Yeah, I'm looking at both chats, Doug. I have both open here, so I'm doing both. I'm trying to do both here.
I'm looking at this chat, Doug.
Which one are you looking at?
YouTube.
MG Geek, do me a favor. When there's something good in the Discord, send it over to us. All right. Cut her off. Nice clothesline by Martinez. Grabbing Ember Moon by the hair.
Wow.
Chopped her down. You know what? Do you think when they go back to having a live audience, they should keep the display, or should they just do the regular Full Sail setup?
I think they should incorporate the display somehow, but I really miss, like, sometimes, obviously, you know what, like, the world's slowly getting better and coming back. I do miss crowds. I'm not going to be that guy who's like, you know, like, I'm depressed because I need a crowd, but I'd like a crowd. You know, so, I'd like to see a crowd at some point.
So Jonathan, one of our producers, has photoshopped Enchante in between Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. Post that on Twitter, and we'll post a link here.
I gotta see this.
Flamethrower in the chat says, "Do the Warrior WrestleMania 6 look." You want me to just do that bonkers? Can I tell you how bonkers that man is? And we loved him as a freaking kid because he was bonkers.
I think that's why, man. You know why? Because it's so unnatural for a huge. All right. you're 18, right? I'm 19. So
in real life,
we're in real life,
kayfabe in it or real life,
and we are still teenagers.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And I can't believe you're a teenager with adult kids. It's
with
nuts.
2 adult kids that are about to get married. Perfect.
But when we were younger, and seeing at, I think maybe like 6 or 7, and seeing like the Ultimate Warrior, I always thought he's the only person on earth that looks like that. Right? Like there's nobody else.
There's nobody else.
There's nobody else who looked like that. Same thing with like Big Balloon Hogan, like when he was just like super round. There was nobody else on the planet that looked like that.
Hang on. Oh my God. Martinez just threw her right into that metal grate. Good job by that. You know what? This is a very impressive first match.
Absolutely.
And it's actually exceeded what I thought it would be. It seems a lot of fun. My God, Shotzi takes those crazy bumps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ember Moon misses, but lands. Nice kick onto Martinez.
Raquel Gonzalez.
What did I say? Gonzalez? No,
you keep calling her Martinez. You keep calling her Mercedes Martinez.
That's what I have on here. Oh shit, I am. Yeah, you're right. Raquel Gonzalez. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong notes. Why do I keep doing that?
Damn handwritten notes. Why would you do that?
Handwritten notes. Andrew, it's Gonzalez. I know it's Gonzalez.
What's wrong with you?
Dude, I got worked up. I'm trying to understand my own handwriting. I can't even see it. I saw it because they're right next to each other on my notes. I have Dakota Kai next to Martinez for some reason, and I have Gonzalez next to Ember Moon. So it is a botchamania, Brian.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Your wife's Puerto Rican. You should know better.
My wife is Puerto Rican, yeah. My very old wife, right? Is that the rule? I'm a teenager. I have 30-year-old kids, but my wife is like 75 years old.
Yeah. You're what do they call that for guys? Carpetbagger?
I don't know what it's called. MG Geek says, "Who wrote your notes?" I rewrite MG Geek's notes by hand.
Yeah,
I transcribe them. It's like the Library of Alexandria.
With a beautiful calligraphy pen.
Beautiful calligraphy pen with a feather on it. Nice miss over there. Whoa,
oh, no.
Little confusion there. Missed it.
That's okay.
Nice.
I do like how Ember
that knee brace
and
down.
Shotzi try to do the matchy.
Yeah. I like it too. But that knee brace has really slowed her down. Whoa, my God. That looked great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Come on, ref!
Oh, boy.
Sorry, I got
so
excited.
So into it. I want you to do that for every single match that we watch. Just yell at the ref. Throw a pencil at the TV. Throw a shoe at the TV.
Yeah, they got that right at the end. You want me to start throwing shoes?
I want you to start throwing what you can into your office. All those Funkos. Take off your shirt, ball it up like real angry, and throw it at the monitor.
Yeah. Gonzalez, wow, big, nice missile drop kick from the top. Ember Moon go for the pin. 1, 2, 3. No, kicks out at 2.5. Kicked her right in the face. They keep missing those spots, man. Come on. 2. Come on, big kick out. How tall is she, Gonzalez?
Ooh, I'll look that up right now, actually. That's
Can I guess?
Okay, you guess? Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to say she's 5'11".
Close.
Yeah?
She's an even 6. Even 6 feet.
Even 6? Okay.
Yeah, even 6.
It's amazing what a big difference it makes for the women when you're 6 feet tall. Isn't Charlotte 6 feet tall also?
I'll look that up too. Charlotte.
She's tall.
Flair.
Can we just look up the heights of all the women on the main roster and
5'10"
NXT right now? Okay.
5'10".
Can you look up Shotzi Blackheart's height and then cross-reference it with Io Shirai's height and then minus Candice LeRae and tell me the number that we got?
I think they're all 5'6".
Okay, perfect. Thank you. This is a very impressive match. I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would, and Raquel has really come a long way in this match, and as a Shotzi also.
What's up, Charlie?
Yo, Charlie. Scar Happy. Danny. Who else is in here?
A lot of folks.
Oh, that looked rough. Shots. Was that a sliced bread? I saw it sideways, so I didn't see if it was what she did.
I think we're a little off on the feeds.
Well, I'll tell you what the problem is. I can't. My closed captioning, I'll tell you something, is absolutely terrible right now.
Okay.
And it's not getting any words. It's skipping everything. So I don't know what it's saying.
What was the last thing you saw visually, like major thing?
Just now, it was a replay of her dive to the outside.
Okay, cool. So we're about caught up. Like you said, like she did kind of like Ember Moon did kind of like a code breaker.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay.
Whoa. They're really making Gonzalez into a monster here, huh? She's kicked out of almost everything.
Yeah.
Ember Moon going to the top here. Here comes Dakota Kai. Cuts her off. Ember Moon fighting her off. You know what's sick? I'm doing the same calls. She just said cut her off, and I just said it too.
Lots of spots to the outside.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Big spot on the outside here. Ember Moon landed right on her knees. Can't be easy with that knee brace. This crowd is loving it. Who's there? Who are the people in there? Oh, my God. Big forearm to the face of Shotzi Blackheart. See, okay, you want to see the mistakes? You want to see the greenness? Did you see how Raquel got up too quick from taking that spot to cut her off so she doesn't go in the ring?
Mm-hmm.
With no storytelling, try to pulling her out? That's where you see, okay, that's the difference between main roster stuff and this. By the way, this is 10 times better than most things, but when you're looking at those tiny little nuances, it's that. That's what they say, like, oh, they're not ready for the main roster.
Also, Raquel Gonzalez has come a long way since she debuted.
Oh, my
NXT.
God. Ember Moon murdered by Dakota Kai right there.
Everybody's killing themselves in this match.
Here comes Dakota Kai and Shotzi Blackheart.
Ooh, I like that. That was like a kind of Canadian destroyer into a backstabber.
No, I didn't not see it. Now I'm seeing it. Oof. Going for the pin. Do we got it? 1, 2. Kick out at 2. Yeah, I mean, you know, here's a big issue with NXT. Have you noticed that the overall interest between, you know, just on the internet has been limited here?
Specifically for tonight or in general?
For tonight. Well, listen, we could all agree that the buzz for NXT has kind of gone down. It's gotten a little flat here. But they're in a rebuilding process right now, so I'm not going to hold that against them. And I think that,
I think I might be ahead of you.
Are you? I think you are now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She just threw her off the ramp. Ember Moon to the outside. Raquel Gonzalez just chucked her off the ramp. Here comes Shotzi Blackheart.
Since when have they done the ramp directly to the ring? Have they always done that?
You know what? I was going to ask that. I don't know why I haven't noticed it, and I'm sure it's been there for a while. So someone in the chat room, is this something new, or did I just miss this for all these months?
That throws me off a little bit when you see something that, you know, you could have sworn wasn't there.
And is the ramp padded? It looks it. ECW ramp.
It's plexiglass. Straight up.
Raquel Gonzalez is about to go right through the middle of that thing. Wow. It's plexiglass, the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is? It's not even. It's actually an LCD, but they forgot to take that wrapper off the screen.
Oh, is it the Randy Orton snake LCD from WrestleMania a few years ago?
That followed him.
It looked like he was surfing on one of them snakes.
Okay, John says this is absolutely new. We're not losing our minds. Okay, good. I'm glad.
All right. I thought I was losing my mind for a second. I thought I got sucked up into your coma.
You know what? Great match.
Yeah. Wow.
Great match. Bravo to all 4 of those girls because killer match. Really enjoyed this tag match.
Really good match. Also, we were wrong.
We were wrong.
It's very rare that we're wrong.
In my life, I'm wrong majority of the time, but during the show, I'm rarely wrong.
When it comes to wrestling, you're always right.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're usually the WrestleDamus.
I am the WrestleDamus. When did I tell everybody that Bill Goldberg was coming back to wrestling?
Oh boy.
Here we go. How long was this match? 17 minutes, 40 seconds was the match.
Ooh, I was way off, huh?
That kick was nice.
Great. Guys in the chat, how did you feel about that match? Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
By the way, in about, let's say 5 minutes, we got a guest coming on with us. It was very difficult to get a guest on this show. I think it's because we're just middle-aged men at this point. But no. Actually, do I need to confirm my email? No, I don't. Here we go. All right. Ryan is going to be calling in. Last week, Ryan was on the show. The last watch-along, Ryan was on the show. Host of Top Rope Nation. Good friend of ours. Also a columnist over at comicbook.com.
Not anymore as of yesterday.
Where'd he go?
He's starting something new, which we can talk about with him.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's moving on to greener pastures. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. You know what? Good for him. He accepted a new... Oh, here it is. He says, some personal news. I recently put in my notice, and today will be my last day writing for CBS Interactive Comic.com. I've accepted a new position that I'll start on March 1st. Where'd he go? Did he mention? Oh, no. Yeah, popculture.com. No, he started at popculture.com. Where the hell is he going? You know what? I'm going to ask him. Ryan, call in. God damn it.
Again, with the handwritten notes.
Wait a minute. Is that the 4K camera? Are they using a special camera on this? Or did my screen just go berserk?
I think your screen went berserk.
Here comes Pete Dunn earlier today.
Sweet shoulder pads on Finn Balor.
You're at Finn Balor? See, how are you so ahead of me? Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Future,
you know, those are armored. Those are armored shoulder pads. By the way, there's a Photoshop contest happening on our Twitter. If you guys head on over to twitter.com/MattMen Podcast, Mattmen Podcast on Twitter, you can go check it out. There is a Photoshop of Enchante. If you've never seen Enchante, this is your chance with Dave. And Dave is very happy about Enchante. And so is Brian. Let me, I'll post this in the chat room now. I got to switch accounts. So is this the next match? We got Kishida and Johnny Gargano coming up next.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, full.
Do you, when you have to write an email or your congressman, do you handwrite it?
To my congressman?
Yeah, if you want to write to Chuck Schumer like you usually do you handwrite those letters?
Now, I've never written to Chuck Schumer, but I used to write to Alphonse D'Amato all the time.
You used to write to Al D'Amato?
Congressman Senator Al D'Amato and I were pen pals for a very long time.
Wow.
Do you know Al D'Amato? What a politician. Listen, nobody knows who the hell this guy is. He used to stand in front of wall bounds in Bay Terrace and ask people to vote for him.
Yeah.
Old school.
And you'd go home and you would whip out the feather pen and go, Dear Alphonse, I hope this missive finds you well. 'Tis I, Andrew.
Dear Alphonse D'Amato. All right. Here we go. You know, William Regal really is all over the show now, huh? That's been a new element over the last, I guess, couple months. You've seen more and more of William Regal.
If NXT had two dads, Triple H is the deadbeat dad.
Is Triple H the deadbeat dad?
He's not there, but he pays the alimony. William Regal is there. He's nurturing. He's hands-on.
I got a TV show concept for you. You ready? This is a 1980s TV show. 1989. You ready for this? Airs on NBC.
Okay.
You got two dads. The daughter's an alien.
What's it called?
Well, there was a show called My Two Dads, right? So we can't go by that. But what would it be called? Let's do this. Chat room.
There was a show.
Here's the there was a show where the girl was an alien, right? She
was
like a robot out of this world.
Evie, and there was a show
called My Two Dads, but the two dads were like two friends that adopted a kid, right? Wasn't that it?
Something like that. I don't know.
So what would that show be called? Because I want that show to be real, and we would be executive producers on this, and it would be on Peacock.
Two dads.
2.5 humans. Charlie, that's it.
2.5 humans.
Yeah.
That would be on the Sci-Fi Channel. You need something. You need for NBC. This is 1989 NBC. This is like what, like must-see TV era?
This is pre-must-see TV era. Two dads, an alien, and a pizza place. That would be on ABC. Here comes Time Splitter Kishida.
I'm still glad he's with this gimmick.
Dude, you know what? That screen looks awesome. That shot looked great. It really looked great. I'm going to tell you, man, Smoke and Mirrors, they do a great job. 2.5 Parents. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan would be overseeing this project. You know, him and aliens. Listen, I welcome it. Joe Rogan, we will hire Joe Rogan as an executive producer on that show. Are you shocked that he's doing still the jacket and everything?
I love it. I love
gimmick?
it. I love it. It's so built in. It works so well. You know, like, remember at Wrestle Kingdom where...
that's awesome. Look at that shot.
So good. It looks so good. Remember that one Wrestle Kingdom where he came out with what's his name, the Funky Weapon as Doc Brown?
Yeah.
Taguchi?
Well, they did that a couple times, right? Haven't they done the Doc Brown thing?
I think so.
Will we see Kushida win the North American Championship here?
I think so.
What the hell's going on back there? It's so corny.
I think so because Gargano's doing his Wolverine jacket.
I tell you, you want to talk about a glow up when it comes to a wrestler?
Sure.
Candice LeRae's entire look and persona has totally changed.
Can I tell you how much I hate that term?
What, persona?
Glow up.
Glow up? Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I've never used it before. This is the first time, and I feel disgusting using it.
Throw it in the garbage. Don't ever use glow up again.
I'm so sorry. I apologize to 100 people watching. Guys, don't judge me based on that.
Don't ever use glow up again on the show, please.
Do you know about this nonsense about cap, no cap? That's how the people talk now? Cap?
No.
Cap means lie. So when you say no cap, it's no lie.
Really?
Yeah, cap.
I don't understand the internet.
I hate all of it.
For a couple of late teens, man, we don't get what's going on.
No, for two teenagers, we don't get what's going on.
18-year-old Andrew Zarian.
Here comes Johnny Gargano in his X-Men outfit. That is a cool jacket. Yeah, it is a cool. Why does he have the W on there? What's the W for? Is it for Wolverine? Or does it mean something else? Is that his way of just telling us he's a Wolverine?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of wrestlers are Wolverine. We have 2 Wolverines in wrestling.
Brian Cage.
Brian Cage, yeah.
He counts as 2 wrestlers.
Brian Cage counts as 2 or 3 wrestlers, absolutely.
It stands for the Way. Also,
the Way, there you go.
That's
there you go. Thank you. You know what? Good job with that. It made me think.
I'm drinking a Stone Cold Broken Skull IPA.
Are you? I'm having
a
glass of wine, and look at the name. Oh, there you go. Can you see it? Hold on.
Manischewitz.
Manischewitz.
No.
Look at it. Boss
Man. Drinking that Bossman Pinot Gris.
I'm drinking that Bossman Pinot Gris.
Nice, man. Did you put your classic chopped up crystal meth in there? Like you usually
that's the only way. You're lucky you're not getting box wine here today. There we go. Ready, going to the ground. Do you know the company that makes all these... have you noticed there's a lot of wrestlers that wear jeans now?
Yes.
There's a company that supplies all these guys with it. It's like an actual... They don't just make it for the wrestlers. They make stretchable denim. And it's intended to be jeans that you could wear and work out and then just like go and live your day. I'm like, I don't want my stinky workout jeans. I don't want to go to the bar in my workout jeans.
About like jeggings.
They are like jeggings.
Okay. I can see you wearing jeggings.
I think Elias is a sponsor of theirs, or he advertises them.
He's a big jeggings guy.
He's a big jeggings guy, Elias.
I think Mr. Gonzo's a big jeggings guy too. He wears jeggings jorts. They look like they're just painted on.
Hang on, I think we got our guest on the line.
Oh.
Hold on. Hey, can you hear us? I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Is that
there you
good?
go.
There you
Whoa!
go. What's up,
Hey,
Ryan?
fellas. Glad
We
to
got-
be back.
We got Ryan on
Yeah.
with us. This was easy to have you on, man.
Heck yeah.
It shouldn't be this easy. Normally, I'm troubleshooting like 18 times on make sure your audio's fine. I just send you a link and you connect.
Don't jinx
Well,
it, man.
You know, I watched my appearance on the Rumble show. I watched it back, and then I realized the sound was coming from, I think it was my webcam.
Hang on, tap
Because,
the mic. Let's find out. Tap the mic. I think you're still on the webcam.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that really loud right there?
No.
No? Hold on.
I
let me
think you are
check
on the
my
webcam.
Google Chrome settings.
There
See,
you
Andrew
go.
jinxed it, man. Andrew 100% he had to troubleshoot.
You know, be
I
really
double
funny.
checked it like 3 times before I got on. All right, let me check again. Okay.
Are you using the beta link or are you using the other link?
The one that you sent me on DM.
Did it have a beta? I gotta see here.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Okay. So there's like a little gear on the bottom.
Yeah.
Click on that gear, and then you can select the mic and the camera.
All right.
I think I can do it.
Let's see. Here we go. This should do it.
And then you got to
boy.
reconnect.
Okay.
There we go. There you go.
Goodbye.
Troubleshooting by Andrew Zarian.
Trouble, man.
Kishida and Gargano going at it right now. Gargano rolls, missing the kick. A kick to the midsection by Johnny Gargano off the ropes. Here we go. Went for an arm drag, missed it. Wow.
These guys are really going at it.
They are.
Kishida also looks like he's put on a little bit of muscle, right?
There we go. Ryan, you there?
Is that better?
Oh my God, like $1 million bucks,
leaps
dude.
and bounds.
Leaps.
Put all
and
this money
bounds.
into a microphone, and I didn't even get the benefits last time. Good to go now. Yeah.
Ryan from Top Rope Nation podcast, one of my personal favorite pro wrestling podcasts out there. Easy to listen to, really informative, and great guys doing that show. I really encourage people to go check it out. I am a Patreon subscriber, so no BS here. I actually enjoy the podcast, and I subscribe to them on Patreon. So what's going on, man? What did you think of the first match? I have a lot of questions for you personally. I want to know what's going on in your life. I don't know if you're ready to tell us what your next move is. You posted that you're leaving comicbooks.com and CBS, but we'll get to that. I want to know, what was your opinion on the first match? Because I absolutely loved it.
So I was eating dinner with the fam upstairs watching it, and I have 2 daughters, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they're like kind of into wrestling. My wife is not into wrestling at all, but I had it on the background, and they were like, "We want to watch this match," especially the oldest. So they took their pizza over to the island, in the kitchen, so they could see the TV in the living room a little better, and they were really into it. So I got into it, and
that's great.
I thought it was a banger, man. I thought it was a great match. I like both of those teams a lot. I think when you look at it, like Raquel Gonzalez is, main roster ready right now. I figured that they would probably win, and obviously we saw that they did. I'd like to see them make a run at the main roster tag titles. Both
Rich and I, we both thought that you were going to have Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart win, but I think you're right. Raquel really is a main roster act as far as, just presence, big. You could do so much with her, very athletic. Why not? Do you think she gets called up soon, or you think this is a long-term project on NXT right now?
I think that the team, I think I could see both of them going up to the main roster, like, and kind of flirting in that tag team division right away, to be honest. But on the other side, I think I heard you guys talking earlier a little bit about how Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, like, eventually they're gonna break up, and that seems like a tailor-made feud. But right now, like, those characters go together so well that I don't really want to see them done either. I'd like to see them continue on. But I think Raquel, between all 4 of them, is the most. Ember's been there already, but I think Raquel Gonzalez could do good stuff right now.
Rich, what do you think?
I'll agree with that. I do think, I personally thought that Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai need a little more time in NXT, but if they're really pulling the trigger, then that means they see something very marketable in those 2, right? But my question is now, do Shotzi and Ember stay in NXT as a tag team? does it benefit them and does it benefit the brand? I am all about Shotzi being on the main roster, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you are? See, I like her there, but I'm okay. I could see it.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of the tag division with the tag team championships on Raw and SmackDown coming down to NXT more. I think that would make, like, you see them going across the brands Raw and SmackDown, but I'd like to see the NXT teams getting more involved. And I think you could keep them there and then just do more inter-brand stuff that way.
Yeah, they're going to have to decide something, because if you really look at, they have so many people on the main roster. I mean, the sheer amount of talent on that roster is unbelievable, but they don't have a very strong upper tier because they've split it, right? You're taking your best of your best and you're splitting it amongst 3 brands, 2.5 brands, right? Because NXT really doesn't, they don't go top heavy on it. It's a developmental project for them still, even though they're on TV. So when you look at this, you got 3 brands, and top talent does not come along that easily. So, yeah, you're going to have a weak top half. Do you, I mean, we're kind of skewing off the main subject of the watch on, but my question is, do you think kind of killing the whole brand split and doing it a little bit softer, not doing a hard brand split, but having, one world title and having people just challenge back and forth?
Mm-hmm. I am a big fan of having less titles. Yeah, we talk about this on the show sometimes. I think one world champion who travels is the way to go, for sure. I would like to see in the men's tag team division them go down to just 1, because they have a good amount of tag teams that are very good between Raw and SmackDown, but not enough to have 2 tag team champions. Like you see them doing the same matches over and over and over. But if you could have the men travel in the way that the women's tag team champions travel, I think the men's tag division would be freaking awesome. Right now, I just think there's a lot of good teams, but you got 2 titles, so it's split and it's not as good. What I would do is I would have 1 world champion that travels. I would have 1 women's champion that travels. I'd have a single set of men and women's tag team champions, and then I still would have like a brand specific mid title. Like I'd have the Intercontinental title only on SmackDown and the US title only on Raw. But the rest of them I would definitely cut down to just 1, I think.
Rich, what do you think of that?
I'll agree with that. Like I feel like it's never going to come back, but like if they did unify that big title, like let's say at some point during the year you had this amazing hour-long blowout match between Roman and Drew to unify that one title where you have a fighting champion going from show to show, I would love that.
Yeah, I think Roman and Drew is the logical Mania main event most years, right? It should be, but they had to do it because of the Survivor Series setup in the way they've gimmicked that show now. But like in most years in the history of wrestling, Roman Drew would be the match. That'd be the match everyone would want to see. And in a unification match, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If there is a concept, by the way, these 2 are killing it right now with this match. Kishida is really showing what he has. I don't think people really know how talented this guy is when you're watching. Not that frequently, or you're not familiar with his stuff in Japan, but he's phenomenal. Johnny Gargano really working hard. Ooh, that was a little faux pas over there. Here we go.
Kishida was one of the guys I feel that saved New Japan a few years ago.
Yeah, or during the early boom, like 2014 Bullet Club era boom. Yeah, I think he was one of those, major players here.
Yeah, because he was running that junior division like nobody's business, and like he's 37. He's been wrestling for like almost 20 years, which is nuts.
Oh, by the way, Taya Valkyrie just got signed.
Very fascinating.
Yeah, I believe she's 38. Been wrestling for a long time.
It's John Morrison's wife, right?
John Morrison's wife, yeah. Going to WWE. Okay. I'm curious what they'll do with her. Very curious about that.
What do you think, Ryan? What's a good place for Taya Valkyrie?
I mean, she's got the experience. No reason for her to toil away at NXT. I think. Either brand right now, because I don't know how they'll set her up heel face, but right, I would assume right to the main roster and probably on Morrison's brand. But we'll see.
Do something, yeah. Listen, because actually, it doesn't matter because they're not touring yet, right? doesn't even matter.
True. Hopefully by fall, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. By the way, got my COVID vaccine today.
Oh, you did.
That's
Hey,
what's good with
congrats.
me. Yes, first round. So I'm pretty excited about that. You know,
How you
seeing the
feeling?
light at the end of the tunnel. I feel pretty good. I haven't had like the sore arm or anything. You know,
Yeah.
like I do feel like I might just be imagining it. You know, body
Mhm.
feels like maybe a little achy, but I don't have
It's
a beer in
expected.
hand because I was like, am I supposed to drink after having? You know, normally
could
I have
drink.
a beer in hand watching these shows, but Rich
Oh
is
no,
like, yes,
my
sure,
doctor
sure.
specific told
You
me
could drink.
that I should drink after mine. Drink,
Yeah.
just show up drunk and just get even more drunk afterwards. Good for you.
You can drink.
Listen,
It's
and
fine.
listen, by the way, that's a positive here, right? Because we're almost
Mm-hmm.
done with this, and we're gonna start seeing people in buildings, and I mean, it's taken a while, and it's not gonna be tomorrow,
Yeah.
but we're closer to
Yeah.
it than ever.
Yeah. What state are you in again, Ryan?
I am in Iowa.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could totally drink. Like my wife is a doctor and she got both her vaccines, and like I'm not saying she was chugging beers, but like you can come home and have a couple of drinks, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure I'll have one before this show's over.
So,
I just holding
I
off a
saw
little bit.
I saw you made an announcement that you're leaving CBS Interactive,
Yep.
or you're leaving comicbooks.com. You were there for a while. Have you announced what your next venture is?
Not the website I'll be writing for, but I can kind of tell you what I'm going to be doing, I think
Okay,
is all
cool.
right. So yeah, I'd been with Comic Book and CBS for 3.5 years. It was a good run. Nothing but positive things to say about the website. I just got to a point where, you know, I wanted to try something a little bit different. And there was an opportunity out there to get a little bit more into like the editing side, and then with my writing just kind of focus on features. I've been doing a lot of like news writing, a lot of heavy news writing the last few years, and you know, it's all right, but I like doing like the retrospectives, feature columns, opinion columns. I think that that's my strength, and so at this new gig, that's all they want me to write. They don't want me to do any of the, you know, the news stories. And so I was glad to hear that. And then primarily I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be a WWE editor. So that will be
Very
nice,
nice.
I think. Yeah.
That's up
Very
your
cool,
alley.
man.
Up your
Yeah. I
alley.
mean, I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, just you need a change of pace once in a while. And I think it's going to be a good opportunity. So I'm looking forward to it. March 1st.
I have a friend that
Congrats, man.
That's
Thank you.
unbelievable. I have a friend that's been a writer for many years, and we're written for different websites and magazines and everything. And he was at his dream. I don't want to give a lot about it, but well-known editor at large, right? At his dream job. And he got an offer to go to South America and write for a coffee magazine. Okay, be the editor at large of this coffee magazine. And he was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to take this job. I have no interest in editing coffee. And then he saw what the money was. And it was the biggest payday of his life. He took his family, just moved to Panama.
Wow.
That's
He moved to
awesome.
Panama temporarily, and then now he's in the country he was writing about. But he moved to Panama first, and then he's now living in South America with his whole family as the editor at large for a coffee magazine that's very popular around the world. And I'm like, you never know where your life's taking you. You know?
Oh,
Dude,
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
sweet. That sounds awesome.
1 minute
Yeah,
you're talking about pro wrestling, next minute you're talking about coffee.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know, the editing side's going to be nice. And I think it's just the job I had previously is just such a grind on the weekends, you know, just really writing a lot of content, pumping out content. I'll be able to slow down on the writing side and focus more on the creative side of like directing writers a little bit, which I think will be
Awesome.
really nice. Another thing about it that I like is I'm going to have more freedom to take some outside projects. So I've had some opportunities over the last few years to, you know, do a column at this website or write an article for this magazine, for example. And I wasn't able to take those because Comic Book is a CBS interactive property, and we have contracts where you're
Yeah.
limited to only write for them. You can't write for
Yeah.
any outside places. But now I'll have the freedom to pick up stuff wherever. So I think it's going to allow me to grow my presence a little bit in the industry too.
I mean,
for
you
sure.
probably know this.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of friends that work at CBS Interactive, and you need approval for essentially all your outside gigs.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Like when I signed with, you know, I came into there doing the podcast Top Rope Nation. So that was all right. But when our podcast signed with Blue Wire, the podcasting network, I had to like you know, I had to talk to the higher ups and make sure, is this okay? Can I, because CBS Interactive has podcasts, they have wrestling podcasts. Is this okay with my comic book job that I'm doing Top Rope Nation with Blue Wire? And luckily they signed off on it. But I was a little bit nervous because it was a good opportunity for us. And I knew the contract was a little sketchy, but they did give me that. So I can't complain too much.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice.
Good, man.
Awesome. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So what are you liking
match
right
is
now
going
as far as wrestling, Ryan?
What's that?
What are you liking right now as far as wrestling goes?
What am I liking? I mean, when you look at the hierarchy of how I watch shows, AEW I think is the best right now, just creatively. I think AEW first, then it was SmackDown because I covered SmackDown for comic book. I actually probably would say that SmackDown is my second favorite show to watch for sure. Just because it's such an easy watch, 2 hours. Roman's the best thing in WWE right now, I think. Then probably NXT. You know, you come into a show like Takeover, and I always look forward to the takeovers, but I kind of feel like these shows are like they're kind of in a vacuum. Like you know, they're going to be great matches up and down the card. I'm sure tonight awesome matches, so I'm excited to watch it. But like from a storytelling perspective, I've felt that NXT has been in a rut for quite a long time, and like the TV, I don't particularly enjoy watching that much right now.
I feel like they have this match right now, Kishida and Johnny Gargano. Nobody could say that this is not a good match. Nobody could. I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to say meh online, but in reality, majority of people watching this will see and appreciate what these two are doing right now, and they're going to like it. I don't know how that translates to a casual viewer on USA. You know, they do have great matches, and it's a decent show. NXT is not a bad show at all. It's that you're putting it up against something else that's a little bit more grand, and it makes them look a little worse than they actually are. And perception is everything, right? At the end of the day, everything that we talk about AEW, we're talking about WWE, Roman Reigns, it's all perception. Roman is as good as he's ever been, but now he's in a role that we are perceiving as better. You know, and that's working out for us. You know, he was, but that's us as a hardcore fan. The casual fan loved Roman in the role that he was in, but the casual fan turning on NXT, does it connect to a Rich? I'm gonna do it. You ready?
Please.
To a P2 or a P3 viewer.
God damn it.
Does NXT connect?
Done.
And actually, Ryan, what do you think? Do you think NXT connects to a casual viewer?
I'm done.
No, because I don't think any
Rich.
casual. Yeah, I don't think any casual viewers watch for match quality. You know, like us as fans, that's what we tune in. That's why we get jacked to watch a show like NXT Takeover. But you don't draw in any of the casual viewers that way. You draw in casual viewers by storytelling, and that's just what they've been missing now for the last couple of years. I think in NXT is just. I don't have the draw to the stories right now or any of the storylines they're presenting. I just feel like it's like a work rate brand, and that's kind of it, which is fine for like a takeover for me because I love watching wrestling. I love what happens between the ropes, but like most people, like casuals, are not like that.
Ryan, sorry, but Kushida just ate the second turnbuckle badly. Really, his face. Here's a replay that they're showing. Kushida, Johnny Gargano just dumped him right into the second turnbuckle over there. So I like one of my best friends, Mike. He's a big wrestling. He loves wrestling. He's been a fan since the 90s. You know, growing up, East Coast kid. What else are you gonna watch? You're gonna watch wrestling, Hogan, Warrior, whatever. And in the 90s, DX, NWO. We get into these heated, not argument, but discussions about, you know, how would they get to that next level again? You know, how do you get to that point? And it's a very difficult conversation to have when we want work rate, we want quality, we want, you know, the hardcore fan. But the reality is the Attitude Era and the boom that wrestling got had nothing to do with the work rate and the matches. Just last week, they were talking about the most watched wrestling match of all time, Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan at the big event on NBC. 33 million people tuned in. Yeah, you had less options and you had more eyeballs on one channel compared to what we have now, but those guys were now watching that match for the work rate. They were watching for the spectacle. They were watching because you got this big giant hot dog man against a literal giant, fee fi fo fum giant, and you want to know what the hell's going to happen. The stipulation had nothing to do with the viewership. It had everything to do with the fact that these two people do not look human. They look like they're drawn. Wow. Did you just see that? Off the top rope, Kishida.
Wow.
Looking for a submission right there.
Andrew, I'm going to interject.
Yes, go ahead.
And also kind of trying to answer Ryan's question/statement. I think all that cool stuff that we always love to talk about happened, and this is my own personal theory, that happened before the company went public. And I think that was
which
the goal.
Cool stuff you talking about?
The Hogan stuff, the Austin stuff,
okay.
Like all of those giant bombastic wrestling memories happened before the company went public, because going public was their goal. We need enough eyes on this product to make it a commodity that it's on Wall Street, right? After that happened and investors bought into it, it then became less about the spectacle and work rate and more about the Hollywood aspect of pro wrestling, right? Like that's why you have a guy like John Cena who ran the company for like 10 years. His run is unparalleled and untouched by anybody because he was so marketable for that demographic, like that kid demographic. Like John Cena owned that. Now, like for us, the guys like Roman does it for us, right? But
Roman does it for us, yeah.
But who's that guy that is gonna pop the kids? Like if you were 6 years old, who would be your Hogan at this point?
Do you know who it was? They had him. And people, I'm gonna say it because I'm around. All my friends have kids, right? They vary from 5 years old to 15 years old. All my friends have kids. You know who they absolutely all loved about 2-3 years ago? By the way, Kushida's about to murder Johnny Gargano, running down the ramp. Here we go. Big punt to Johnny Gargano's head, kicking him right back into the ring off the ramp. The Braun Strowman was that guy for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, he was never going to do it for us. He was never going to be a Hulk Hogan or, a big guy for us. But every one of these kids freaking loved Braun Strowman until they killed him.
Yeah, it's all about transcendent characters and striking when the iron's hot. I think with Braun, like that time was 2017 to 2018. That's when they needed to go all in on
6-month window.
him, right?
It was a 6-month window.
I feel pretty strongly that if you don't hit on those characters at that moment, you'll never get that opportunity back. Like I know we tried the Braun Strowman thing last spring, but it wasn't what it could have been a couple of years earlier. I pretty firmly believe that you can't just take anybody out of nowhere and heat them up and make them a star. Like there's these moments where it's there, you got to strike, and if you don't, it's gone. And I think they missed it with Braun.
Here's the other thing, right? Hogan, great example. Let's bring him up. We never saw Hogan in Memphis and Hogan in Japan and Hogan's first run in the WWF with Vince Sr. We never saw any of that. We've only seen the clips that WWE has allowed us to listen, I'm 37 years old, right? I didn't watch him in 1984 winning the title, but I saw him from 88 on. But even the stuff, by the way, Johnny Gargano just won.
Jeez.
Wow.
2 in a row.
We are 2-0. We are wrong twice.
We're 0-2.
By the way, 0-2. By the way, Ryan from Top Rope Nation on with us here. Very good match. I think the match went a little too long, though.
I would have got this one wrong. I thought a title switch was maybe going to happen.
I thought so too. I was almost 100% here. Very much so. But here was my point here. We never got to see Warriors debut, right? As kids.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have every possible gimmick change previous to the one that worked in front of us. Now, like Steve Austin, great example. If we were in today's time or today's way that media is given to us today, how many people would say, who the hell, the Hollywood Blondes? This guy from WCW, the ringmaster, the future of this company? No way. He would be dead in the waters. Because
Mean Mark Calloway?
You want me to believe that this guy's a zombie? That would be, honestly, that would be the perception, because they tried everything. There were mistakes made along the way. Listen, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Kevin Nash, this cool freaking guy in WCW, right? Diesel was cool in WWF. That was the gimmick. Forget about it if you like him. But if we were as if the content was as in your face as it is today, we would never get over the fact that this was Vinny Vegas and Oz. We would just be constantly talking about how we took Oz and we made him into a champion. It's like saying we took let's see, give me another guy that had a really crappy gimmick in the beginning of his career, turned out to be a huge star. Steve Austin was one, right? We brought him up.
WWE specific.
Anywhere.
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall's another one. Yeah, the Diamond Stud.
Mhm.
You know, essentially, you know what, though? I'm telling you, I think that Diamond Stud gimmick would have gotten over anyway in WWF. It was Razor Ramon anyway. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
But
I agree with
we
that.
now see everything, and we can look back and see everything. A guy like Lars Sullivan, here's the great example. A guy like Lars Sullivan, forget about what he posted, right? Let's take his personal issues out. Let's keep his goofiness intact and just go based on that, on how goofy of a character he is and how goofy looking he is in this character. Could we ever get past Lars Sullivan and this version of him and then him becoming this top star in wrestling? I don't think we would be able to.
No.
No, not at all. But I think also like that's an interesting example because I feel like guys like that are destined to be on the mid card, much like a Bastion Booger. You know?
Yeah, but a Bastion Booger. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I feel like a Bastion Booger, even then, could have been repackaged in some caliber to be something else. Look at here's a great one. Look at Godfather, right?
Okay.
How many versions of him existed? How many versions of Rikishi existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
So I don't think that the problem right now is that these guys don't have opportunity for failure as much as guys in the past did. You know, a guy like Bray Wyatt, he is so fortunate that he's so charismatic and great at what he does that he was Husky Harris. You know?
Right.
And he got
But that
over
was
it.
for like, that was
2
for like a
seconds.
few months. 2
Yeah.
seconds.
I do remember there was some chants when he started. Some Husky Harris chants.
There were some Husky chants, yeah.
Yeah, I think overexposure is a big problem in wrestling right now. I think some of that too has to just do with the content. When we were watching as kids, you didn't see the big stars every single week, right?
You had to go to the Garden. I had to
Yeah.
go to the Garden to see Hogan wrestle. You think Hogan was on Superstars? Never.
Right. So now,
He's
I
an
mean, they're on
attraction.
TV all the time for, how many years in a row? Like Randy Orton, for the most part, has been there for like 20 years, right? And
As
like
Randy Orton.
Dolph Ziggler, as Randy Orton with very little change. I guess, the heel face, but he acts pretty much the same either way. Dolph Ziggler, another guy who's been around just forever. So, yeah, it's just the sheer amount of time that they're on your television is just kind of like burned into your consciousness. And once you have a set perception of one of these people, it's very difficult to reverse that, I think, in the eyes of the casual viewer, certainly, but even the hardcore audience.
I agree with you 100%. With that said, where can people check you out, Ryan?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. It's at Ryan Droste. That's DROSTE. The podcast is at Top Rope Nation. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter as well. And then we got new shows dropping each and every Friday. We're on all the podcasting feeds. So just check out Top Rope Nation. Leave us a 5-star and subscribe. Would help us out a lot. And we have a YouTube channel too. Just search Top Rope Nation. You'll find it. All of our shows are on video. Not quite as slick as Matt Men, but we're working at it. That's the
This isn't real.
inspiration, Andrew.
This is all CGI, man.
Yeah. But we're getting there. I think it's looking pretty good. So would love to have anyone out there tune into one of the shows and check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it if you like these guys. I'll just say that.
See, there you go. Everyone go check out Ryan. Thanks so much for coming on. Listen, I'd love to have you on again, and I'd love to have you on when we're doing our normal show. When Rich and I are doing a regular podcast, we'd love to have you on. And anytime you want us on, we're there.
Hey, I told the wife tonight, man. I was like, yeah, we can watch a movie or something later, but first, Andrew and Rich called, so I'm going to have to do that. I know it's Valentine's Day, but this is an opportunity that I cannot pass up.
Please apologize to your wife for me, because
Thanks,
you mentioned she's not a big wrestling fan, and not only are you watching a pay-per-view, you've now left Valentine's Day and said, hey, I got to go do a podcast and talk about some wrestling. So Godspeed, my friend.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm dedicated. What can I say?
Good for you.
Thanks, man.
Everybody go check out Top Rope Nation. Great dude, Ryan. Very much enjoy him coming on, and I wish all the success in his new venture. Good dude. It's always nice when you have a good dude like that, huh?
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. He was our Valentine's Day present.
He was our Valentine's Day present.
He skipped town on his wife to come and hang out with us. What a guy. Thanks, Ryan.
We got the finals for the Dusty Classic coming up right now between MSK and the Grizzled Young Vets.
You were going to say the Goonies.
No, I was going to say the I'll tell you, what was I going to say? I think I was going to, what was I saying? Not the Good Brothers. I was saying something else.
I thought you were going to say the Goonies.
The Goonies? All right, the Goonies.
The Grizzled Young Vets versus MSK. I think, again, we've been wrong so far. We're two matches in, completely wrong. I think MSK takes it. We're probably wrong.
Let's see. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to be giving away two more 1-month subscriptions to the Wrestling Observer. During the women's match, MG Geek is going to be calling in with his question. So the way that we're going to do it, we're going to ask a question, and if you could answer it the fastest in our Discord, MG Geek, drop a link in the chat. We will give you a subscription for 1 month of the Wrestling Observer. By the way, all our Photoshops are being dropped right now in the Discord as well. So if you want to check it out, go to our Discord. MG Geek will post a link, and you guys could check it out there.
What do we got?
Here we go.
Who does this dude remind me of? He reminds me if somebody smashed John Silver from the Dark Order
and Cesaro
with Thomas Middleditch, comedian Thomas Middleditch. Yeah. And Alex Reynolds. They look like the Dark Order. It's weird, right? Isn't it like bizarre how like we're getting these parallels on NXT versus like AEW, where the Grizzled Young Vets look like John Silver and Alex Reynolds?
You know what though? I think those parallels exist throughout all of wrestling. Like, you know how many indie shows I've gone to, and I'm like, that guy looks like that. That guy looks like that. That
everybody's a Jeff Hardy.
Everybody's a Jeff Hardy, man. Independent wrestling from 1999 to 2012 were all Jeff Hardy.
Everybody was a Jeff Hardy. I think in indie wrestling, you had your time frame where everybody was a Jeff Hardy, everybody was a Rey Mysterio. There were a few CM Punks thrown in for good measure. I think the CM Punk thing permeated a lot of the indies for a while.
There was a CM Punk guy that I called his match, and I thought he was going to be a big star in wrestling, and he made a very disgusting mistake in life.
He had a bad moment, bad judgment call.
Yeah, one would say. And I thought this guy, in the entire match I'm screaming, this guy's the future of pro wrestling.
Do I know who this person is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you off the air.
Dolph Ziggler. How long do you see this match going, Andrew?
How long did the other match go? I think this is going to be a shorter match. I think definitely this is going to be a shorter match here.
Oh, yeah. I remember that guy. That sucks.
Oh, this is great. A friend of mine sent me a link. Did you watch Space Ghost at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Take a look at that link I just sent you.
Let's take a look at this.
My friend Steph just sent me this awesome.
That's pretty good. I like that.
That's really good. Good job, Steph, with that one. I'll post it in the group here. That's not me. Did I post? No, what the hell did I just send you? Let's see. I sent you the wrong thing.
No, you sent me the right thing.
I did send you the right thing. I did send you the right thing.
You sent me the right thing.
All right, sorry. Here we go. So we got a tag match here. These guys, I mean, listen, they're younger. They're building them up. Their tag division, though, in NXT has really dropped, I would say.
It's suffered. It suffered a little bit.
It has suffered.
But, I mean,
look at who you had.
Yeah. I mean, like, you still do. You still have, like, really good tag teams, but I think they definitely got routed for talent, you know? And I think their tag team division suffered big time when you lost your Authors of Pain, and the Ascension. And who else came up to the main roster during that time? I feel like those were like the Revival, right?
Well, the
those were
Raiders, Viking Raiders.
Viking Raiders. You had DIY, like that. Those were strong TV tag teams, right? Mustache Mountain every so often would show up.
Yeah, they've they've really suffered here.
Why do you think that is? Like at the end, do you think talent was taken just like, oh, we need to put more guys on TV right now? Who cares?
I think because it's their idea was that it's a harder split.
Street Profits.
And yeah, Street Profits, American Alpha, right? How great were they?
Heavy Machinery.
Well, here's the thing. The purpose of NXT was always that it was developmental, and they still have that logic still. Right. They kind of fell into this idea that it became the second brand for them. It wasn't by design, to be honest. It was due to really good work rate and being able to see an alternative to the main roster product. And it grew and it grew. And they started selling out these events. And when they went back to TV, they were gutted. You know, if you think about that 2017 NXT roster, if you put that on USA for 2 hours, what would we be saying?
Ooh, man.
You know, 2016, late 2016, 2017 roster, you know, you got a tremendous I'm looking at this card here. Yeah, you got this unbelievable roster here that you really they would have been very competitive on TV, but the reality is your main focus is your main product, not NXT. And this match is an example of what NXT, the goal of NXT is. Really good work rate for guys that are just not at that main roster level, technically.
Okay, sure. Or I think we mentioned this on the show the other day where those Takeover Brooklyns had those people who were like, well, listen, it may not be the main roster, but we're going to show you what we have and we're going to tear the house down. Like that's where you saw like those Bayley Sasha matches, you know, like Balor Joe, Balor Kevin Owens, all these matches that absolutely tore the house down and were arguably some of the best wrestling shows put together, I think, in the last like 15 years. Right. So, and it's not, I don't think we're knocking NXT, but like, what do you think could make that better? Do you think they need to go back to that original mentality they had when they signed like a Finn Balor or a Nakamura or a Sami Zayn?
I don't think when they signed those guys, they signed them because they realized that they were onto something big here. And, you know, Finn Balor, Nakamura, Finn Balor, Joe, those guys were supposed to, the purpose was bring them on, bring eyeballs on the other talent. They're good. Tighten them up a little bit and then put them on WWE TV. But, you know, we kind of got spoiled and we realized what happens when these guys go over to the main roster. Nakamura is a great example. One of the biggest names in professional wrestling, top 5 in 2016, 2015, 2014. People were into him big time because he was different. So he goes to NXT, has a great run in NXT, but turns down the knot, you know, brings it down a tremendous amount because of his own wanting to, by the way. It wasn't WWE forcing him. He realized he was going too hard and he wanted to extend his career and make a good living. So you have that. And then the other side, you got guys like the Vaudevillains, right? How over? These guys were over in NXT.
They fit so perfectly. They fit so perfectly with what NXT was at the time, right?
But I think that's such a fascinating. They're a great example of NXT building something and working in a smaller environment. You got about 200-300 people in that building. You got NXT. You put the Vaudevillains there. A weird gimmick that would never get over on the main roster. We all agreed on this. And what happened when they came to the main roster? Nothing.
I got a question / statement for you.
Yeah.
Do you think if they kept NXT strictly for the smart mark fans, it would be a different product now? Because that's exactly what you kind of mentioned and what you really hammered that one home, where you were like, the Vaudevillains worked on NXT because it was a smaller stage, right? That was like a super indie gimmick that really got over. Adam Rose, good example too. A lot of these guys, do you think it's because they were like, listen, this show's for the smart marks. We can sell out the Barclays Center based on this stuff, right? Do you think that attitude needs to come back and be like when crowds come back, obviously, because now they can do whatever they want, and we can't say anything about it.
So I think there's a couple parts to this. It's first of all, it's what the audience perceives and what the company perceives, right? Let's stick with the Vaudevillains. Enzo and Cass is I would say is one of their most successful projects in NXT.
Absolutely.
And I'm not to forget about the breakup. Let's ignore that. That was a mistake that was made, but an act that translated from developmental green guys, by the way, not a Nakamura or a Balor, guys that are really green, homegrown, built within the program, to WWE main stage product, main stage pro wrestling, WWE. They translated perfectly well. That was a seamless transition for them. That pop that they got, that WrestleMania, I think Cass was number 1, right? Was it number 1 or 2, whatever it was, when they had that whole entrance? My God, that people were so into them. I think they were in Texas. Yeah, they were at the what year was that? 2017? 2018? When they run the Alamo Dome. Whatever it was. It was tremendous, whatever. But they translated well. Vaudevillains did not. Some acts are smaller acts and some acts are big acts. I think they need to start recognizing that. And that may be the reason why you don't have a Johnny Gargano on the main roster right now. Maybe they're very lucky they pumped the brakes on that, and they kept them down there. I find it interesting. I find it all interesting. But here's a good question, Rich. Who do you think suffered from a big transition? Homegrown. I'm not talking about the Nakamuras and everything. Homegrown. Who didn't work on the main roster?
I'm glad you brought that up, because the one guy that we were sure was going to be a surefire hit on the main roster, and we would talk about it on the show every week and be like, yo, this guy's ready. This guy's ready. He's so over. Tyler Breeze.
Early on, I thought, well, remember he would compare him to Shawn Michaels. They had all these comparisons for him.
He was so over.
You know what?
So over.
Yep, he was over. It worked. Whatever it was worked for him down there.
They gave him a match with Liger at a WWE event,
2016,
He was so over in NXT, and just the little things that they would do with him, coming to the ring with the selfie cam, mouthing the weird lyrics to his song, having good matches. And then on the main roster, man, this dude, unfortunately, it's like, okay, great. You can sit over there now until we have something for you. And then it just didn't work out, in a weird way.
The Ascension.
Oh, Ascension was awful because they got spooky fingered.
But you know what's funny, though? I got to tell you, they did get spooky fingers, but I'm going to blame the audience. I'm going to blame the fans, right?
Okay.
People really enjoyed him in early NXT, right? It was over in NXT. The original, do you remember the original concept of the Ascension?
They were vampires? That was awesome.
They were vampires. They were Dracules. They would just hang out. They were sexy vampires. That was their gimmick. And they modified it. One guy left, one guy stayed, whatever. And they turned it into whatever they became, and they became some sort of a Bizarro Road Warriors homage, which is fine. But the second they started putting those vignettes on Raw, oh my God, Twitter was flooded. Who are these fools? Who are these guys? One is balding, the other one sucks. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, they were dead before arrival to that roster. And then they got this. And that's all it took.
That's all it took, man. They got that's the worst thing anybody could do to you in the ring.
Scott Hall killed him.
cut your legs out from under you by doing this shit to another guy. Ooh, like that stuff.
Dude,
but
they're going out there. They're like this. They're like, bah! They're doing that whole thing to Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Scott looks at them and goes, "Done. You're over."
That's it.
You know what he should have done? He should have bit his finger off.
Oh, 100%.
If whoever it was, if I was one of the Ascension, Scott Hall does a spooky finger, Connor, I'm biting his finger off. I swear to God. And I'm like, you know what? Nobody will ever do that to me. I just bit off Scott Hall's finger. Try to spooky finger me now.
I feel like we can probably get those guys on.
The Ascension? We could.
Yeah. Let's go for that because I really want to talk to them. I feel like it's unfortunate. Like
It is unfortunate.
all WWE had to do was, all right, guys, just bump for the vampires, and you'll collect your paycheck. You know, that's it. They could have just come out, destroyed every single one of those tag teams. Because there was that one episode of Raw, right, where they brought out Hall and Nash. I want to say JBL, the APA, and I want to say the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Or Billy?
Something like that. And they got razzied by the legends, you know, and they never recovered from that.
No.
What do you think was the issue with another NXT tag team, Authors of Pain? Because they came out and they were Rollins' boys.
They got
like
hurt.
a little bit.
They got hurt, right? Wasn't that it? But you know what's funny though?
Yeah.
They were an act. I got to tell you, and this is my, and I don't want to knock these guys. By the way,
no, not at all.
This book I got on Amazon, it's an original unauthorized parody of the Authors of Pain, and it's just poems.
That's amazing,
right? It's poems, and it says that it's written by them. It's not, but it's just
Did you write
bizarre.
that?
I did write it. Yeah, I did write this book, but it's just like poems. WWE Crash Cage playlist. Thrash, bash, smash, crash. Crash, no cash. Cold, hard cash to be spent on toys. LJN, Hasbro, Jack's Pacific Metal. Mattel. No, Matt Hell. My body's broken in Matt Hell. I mean, this is like such a bizarro book, but I have it.
Fascinating.
So I think their big problem was Paul Ellering being dropped by them was an issue, but it was that, you know, you got to remember who their opponents on the main roster was. You remember that first time that they faced I think it was Undisputed Era? No, it was DIY, right?
Yeah.
You're like, how the hell is this match going to work? These two guys, they're not very athletic. They're just big dudes. They're hard-hitting dudes.
And it worked.
And you got these two, like, tremendous workers in Gargano and Ciampa, and those matches were gold.
Yeah, they were. But I also think, like, when we mentioned this on the show, as far as, like, the Authors of Pain go, like, on NXT, they look like they were giants. But on the main roster, they were just average size.
We got a great question in the chat room. You ready for this? Scar Happy asks, any progress on your new best friend, David Arquette? Listen, I've been very stressed recently, so my manifestations have not been very strong, but there is some progress being made with me and David Arquette becoming best friends in real life. It's going to happen this year. Maybe 2022. You know what? Because of the quarantine, I may need to bump it to 2022. So let's say 2022, him and I will be best friends. He'll be sitting there right on the couch.
Or crashing on your couch.
Would you be mad if I was like, hey, listen, Rich, I'm like, I love the show with you, but we need to add David Arquette to the show. And he's going to be here every
fine
week.
With that.
I'd be mad. He's wacky.
I'd be mad if you were like, sorry, buddy, hit the bricks.
David Arquette's my new co-host.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh, my God. What is that called? The human highlight? There we go. 1, 2. Big kick out.
Wow. This is a good back and forth with these guys.
It is a good back and forth. Listen, all these matches are great. I'm fine with them. They're good, but, you know, they really don't. Who is their top tag team right now? Give me their two top tag teams.
Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Imperium, okay.
Because they're they have the belts.
I think that they're suffering from the whole pandemic issue as far as the characters go, as far as the tag team goes. I think they suffered from it. I think a lot of the UK guys, to be honest, they've like Walter, right? No conversation about him.
No. And he's still the UK champ, right?
He's still the UK champ.
Listen, Edge versus Walter at WrestleMania. Let's book it.
You want that? You know what? I'm for it.
I want everybody. What would you do tonight if the match with Pete Dunne ends with Balor getting speared by Edge?
That would be interesting. I really don't want to see that match at WrestleMania, and I don't believe it'll happen. I do want to see him and Walter though. Imagine he's like, I'm just challenging Walter for the UK title, and he wins it. And he beats
That'd be
Walter.
phenomenal.
He just wins the UK title. Now he just lives in England and does that.
pops the territory. I would love to see Balor versus Edge, like, big time.
Yeah, maybe. I'm curious where Edge goes after this. I'm sorry, not Edge. Balor on the main roster.
Mhm.
You know, where does he fit in? Because he's a top guy here. The second he came down, he's the top guy, right?
Oh, absolutely. He was the top guy when he left, and he's the top guy when he's back. You know, like he's a very interesting. He's a really interesting character because you can see, even from looking at his stuff in Japan, where like this guy oozes money. Like this guy is money, right? Like this guy is fantastic at everything he does. Do you think WWE is basically giving him carte blanche with money as far as like, listen, just like whatever you do, please don't leave?
I don't think so. I mean, would he leave and go to AEW? Right? That's a question. I don't know. He's making a lot of money. And he is profiled in a very good position on NXT. Listen, but also part of that is your friends are there, right?
Right.
Your friends are there. These are guys that you work with. I think for AJ Styles, when he made that decision to stay, I think it was an easy decision because he got very much engraved into WWE. You know, AJ's a good example. AJ got very engraved into WWE life, right? And it was an easier schedule for him than he was living when he was doing it in New Japan. His wife's a teacher. She still works, you know? He has all those kids. He doesn't want to be going to Japan every. By the way, here we go. Men's Dusty Rhodes Classic Finals.
Good match. Good match so far.
Here are the winners.
Wow.
Very good match, and this is to catapult them.
All right. So we call this one.
We call this one, yeah. Okay, so what are we? 1 and 2?
We're 1 and 2, yeah. What's next?
All right, I'll take that. I think it's going to be the women's match. What do we have now? We're done with this.
We got 2 matches left.
We got 2 matches. We got the women's match and the world title match. That's it. It's 8:30. So in an hour, the show is going to be done.
Now, can I pop you as a wrestling fan?
Yeah, pop me, baby.
What would your reaction be? Let's say Finn Balor's contract comes up next month. He's done, right?
Yeah.
Shows up in Japan. Surprise challenger to Kota Ibushi. Beats Ibushi. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Looks at the camera and goes, I'm putting this title on the line against the fake Bullet Club. So you get Finn Balor as IWGP champ versus Kenny Omega.
I mean, listen, man, for any wrestling fan, that's a remarkable match to have.
You lost your voice there for 2 seconds. You were like, oh my God.
Shotzi showed up. Listen, I think that's great. I would love that. But do you think Balor would leave? I don't know. Oh, but I'm sorry. Let me just do the AJ thing. Okay. Listen, AJ's buddies were there. Gallows and Anderson were there. He knows everybody there, essentially, right? Because he's been in the business for so long. They freaking adore him. They love him. He went to that company knowing that he would not be the top guy, right?
Okay.
Listen, you got Roman Reigns as the other guy. You're not going to be the top guy. I think his expectation was lower than what we would imagine, and this guy blew up immediately. They catapulted him, and they did it the right way. I think AJ's run in this company has been very good. I think the biggest problem has been that he's not, he's up there in age, and he's at the end of his career rather than the beginning, and that's the biggest struggle for him in WWE. But I think for him, the money, he's making millions of dollars. He's traveling way less. He's living a better lifestyle. The accommodations work out for him because he's a top name. I don't think he would have gotten that anywhere else. But, Gallows and Anderson are gone. Things are a little different. Does this guy at one point say at the end of his contract, he has a long contract, but does he say, you know what, one last thing, I'm going to do it, but it's going to be out of here. I'm going to go to AEW.
I think so. I think there's a lot of room for growth when it comes to that kind of thing, like that last ride into the sunset, and I think that benefits the wrestling landscape as a whole. Like if AJ was like, you know what, I think I'm going to give myself another year or 2 to wrestle, I'm done with WWE. I'm gonna go here and here, and that's it. And I'm gonna end my career on this note, and then end up popping up on WWE TV as like a legend or a Hall of Famer. You know,
Here's
that
Michael
works.
Hayes.
I think. Oh wow, is this the new Cameron Grimes?
The new Cameron Grimes. He hit it. He hit it big with Dogecoin.
I'm with it.
Oh, that wrong person. There we go.
Hello.
Hello. We got MG Geek calling in with his trivia question for the last 2 Observer subscriptions that we're going to be giving away. We're giving away a 1-month Wrestling Observer subscription, courtesy of F4W and WrestlingObserver.com. Here on the show, all you got to do is head on over to our Discord, join it, and answer the question in there. So let's see. So now we got the new Cameron Grimes with his sports car and his pool and the money. I hope he loses this money as quickly as he's earned it. I think that'd be phenomenal if he just loses the money. All right. Here we go. So Cameron Grimes in the pool. They're doing a whole vignette here. I don't know what to make of this guy. Where does he go? You know, like Cameron Grimes is an interesting character on a smaller product, but how would this translate on the main roster? I don't think it's going to translate at all. I think it's interesting, you know, on a smaller product. Your expectation is different. You're viewing it with a different lens. Still holding GME, Andrew? No, I don't have no, I have no I do have GME, actually. No, I have AMC. I bought and I sold multiple times. I have Doge, which is plummeting right now. It's at 58. It's 5.8 cents. So there you go. MG Geek, are you on the air with us?
Yo.
Oh, what's going on? Are you enjoying the show?
Hey, I am. Hang on. What?
Where are you? In a freaking aquarium?
Yeah, you like that?
I do.
I have my settings are all washed out, so
Hold
it
on.
makes me look.
I can't even pull you up on the shot because I don't have this programmed in. But I'm watching MG Geek on my screen right now, and he's broadcasting from a tanning bed, apparently.
That's what it looks like. It's so washed out. It's ridiculous. I was playing with my cam settings. Apparently, I didn't do a good job. Anywho, hi everyone. How you doing?
So this is what we're going to do. Our producer, MG Geek, has a question for you guys. And if you answer it correctly in our Discord, you will get a 1-month subscription to the Wrestling Observer website. MG Geek, do you have the question on hand?
I do. I have 2 questions, but I'm going to go with the easier of the 2 because one is super hard, but I figure we could discuss it while the match is going on because it's great.
All right.
It's something about this match. So the first question is regarding the women's, the NXT women, and specifically of all the women that have went through NXT.
Okay.
Name the ones. There's 4 names that have won main roster titles that did not win NXT title.
Okay. Ask the question again.
Okay.
How
many people of all the women that have been through NXT?
Of all the women that have been through NXT, okay.
There is 4 that have not won the NXT title that have main roster titles, main singles titles.
Okay.
Who are they?
Oh, I'm not going to answer because I know some of these.
Right.
It's
not a hard question.
So
if you think about it,
you have to post this in our Discord.
Right. All one. It needs to be in one line. I don't need like 40 guesses.
Okay.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. So post. So how many people is there? 4 of them.
There's 4.
And you want all 4, or you want 1?
I would like all 4.
Okay, 1 is
I don't
very
think they're
easy.
that hard.
And I'll throw that one out there as a freebie, and that's Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is 1.
Correct.
Okay.
So now I need 3.
Okay, name the 4 women on Raw or SmackDown that have won Raw and SmackDown titles but have never
main
held
roster
a title
titles
in
roster
NXT.
Titles.
MG Geek has the link in our chat room right now on YouTube. You go in there, click on that Discord link, and go in there and and pop it. So
Oh, you
Becky
know
is
what?
obviously one, right?
You know what?
Yeah.
Somebody's got it, but I'm not gonna. It's got to be in the.
Got to be in the Discord.
Yep.
You know what?
There's
I'm gonna tell
5
you.
actually. There's
five?
5. Oops. Yep. That's all right. That's all
There's
right.
5. Okay.
Mm,
You know, you want to go with 5 or you want to go with 4?
Let's. I mean, whoever puts
know
it
what?
in there first.
You know
If
what?
They get 4 I was thinking of.
I'm gonna give it to that person. So I'm gonna give
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one away because it was so it was actually very quick how they got
I
that.
totally forgot somebody.
So,
that I should have.
The answer is Carmella, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, and Becky Lynch. Rules are rules, but I'm giving it to them. I'm gonna give them. So we have another one we're gonna give. So do you want to do? Yeah, I'm going to give it to him because that's good. Do me a favor. Email us, guysfromqueens@gmail.com, and we will get you your subscription. I'll send it over to Tony at the Wrestling Observer website, and he will send it over. So do you have another question before this match begins?
Mr. Gonzo.
Yo. This one, I don't think anyone's going to get, but I thought it was interesting. So Io Shirai is defending her title tonight.
Oh, boy.
And she is, boy, and she is one. I could only find one other person has done this. She won her championship in a triple threat match.
Okay.
And is defending it in a triple threat match in the same reign.
Okay.
I've only been able to find one other person that's done this
in NXT or in all
in
of
WWE. I will say it's the WWE title.
Okay, so one other person has won and defended their titles in a triple threat match. Is that
Correct.
what you're saying?
In the same reign.
In the same, yeah. So,
Dean Ambrose.
Who would that be? Who won their title? That's a very difficult one, by the way.
Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins.
The Great Khali says Tamina, Alundra Blaze, Piper Nevin, and Big Dick Johnson. Those are all wrong. Here comes Io Shirai, NXT Women's Champion. Great entrance, great overall character. So that is a very difficult question. So here we go. In our Discord, boys and girls, you could go and click over to our Discord and join it. Name one individual that has won their WWE championship. Are you talking like IC titles as well, or any title?
Major title.
Just the main title, just the WWE title.
Just a main WWE title. So it could be an NXT main title. It could be a WWE main title that has won their title in a triple threat match and also defended it in a triple threat match.
Like I said, this is a hard question. You got to go back some years. I'll be honest. I was digging for this. I could have missed one, but
I think this is a very difficult one. So do you want to throw in one of the participants in that match?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar is a participant in this match.
And this is WWE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we go. So right now in the ring, while people are brewing over this very difficult question,
is a participant. There's 2. Now you just got to figure out the year.
So Triple H is a participant also, and Brock Lesnar is a participant. So it has to be 2002 to 2003. I did not know that Brock Lesnar and Triple H had a triple threat match. So this is 2002, 2003 era. So can I throw in a guess?
You can.
I can, and we may have one. I may win the 1 month. Kurt Angle?
Kurt Angle was in it, but it wasn't him.
It was not him.
I think that's who was holding the title, I do believe.
Could I have my guess now?
Yes.
Chris Benoit.
No. That was a different triple threat match.
Benoit did win it in a triple threat match.
All right.
But he never had a match, a triple threat match during that reign.
Hold on. There might be one. Here we go. In our chat room is Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar versus Big Show not won in 2003?
Ooh.
Could be. I'll look it up, but I don't think so. Yeah, there could have been another, but it was a year before. I'm just going to say that.
So we're going to
Just
0-2.
just think about the name of this pay-per-view. I'm pretty much giving it away with that.
Just think of the name. So it was at Vengeance 2002. We just gave it away. Come on, whoever answers first. Whoever answers first.
Oh boy.
Shoot
And
it,
the other pay-per-view was Global Punishment.
Are you checking the Discord? Because people are saying check the Discord.
I am. I got it. I'm looking at it. And
Thanks for doing this, by the way, Mr. Gonzo.
hey, I just always try to have fun. I mean, I don't even know if I'm entirely right.
So
You and Mr. Gonzo. Great job.
So let's see who's going to answer this. Who gets it? We've laid it out.
Yep. I'm pretty much.
Transfer and Heat podcast says The Undertaker. The Undertaker did not win his world championship in a triple threat match. Or maybe he did. One of them.
So Brock Lesnar, Triple H. Can I get another guess? Do I get to win 1 year of
There's
the Observer?
it's so obvious. Who
Is it
who
The Rock?
Is
Yes.
it Batista? Oh,
The
boy.
Rock.
Congrats,
You know what?
Andrew. You won.
One person said The Rock in the chat room. Email me.
We got a guy.
Oh,
one of
wait.
our guys in the Discord got it too.
He got it? Okay. He was in the
Well, he
Discord.
said Kurt Angle. He was participating. I don't know if he really got it.
You know what? We'll shoot it over to him. He said it first. So it's Kurt Angle. Is that right?
No, The Rock is right. I believe Kurt Angle's who he won. I gotta go look it up. He defended it at Global Punishment, and I forget who he.
When did The Rock win the title in a triple threat match?
Vengeance. He won it at Vengeance, and then
Okay.
he defended it later on in a triple threat.
And he lost
Okay.
it.
And he didn't lose it. He won.
He won
He kept it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why this match I was trying to look for another. It started out. I wonder who else has lost the title in a triple threat that won it in a triple threat, and I couldn't find that answer. So yes, this was a very hard question. I apologize for.
That's a good one. Listen, whoever answered The Rock, who was it in the chat? MG Geek. Find out. It was in our regular chat. We'll send it over to him.
That's a good one, Mr. Gonzo.
It's one of our
Do you have any more?
moderators. I can come up with more. I have. My mind's like a steel trap, but not right now.
Off the top of your head, give us a trivia question.
Off the top
Rich,
of my
I'm
head,
stepping away for a second. You're in charge.
Oh, I got it. Mr.
Oh,
Gonzo,
boy.
it's just me and you.
we're in trouble. We're gonna freaking go down the toilet bowl now.
Mr. Gonzo, we're steering the ship. You and me, buddy. Look me right in the
Here
eye
we
and tell
go.
me we got this.
We gotta make it like 5 minutes.
We got to make this work. Andrew is going to take a very luxurious dump right now.
I doubt it. He's probably sprinting.
He built an amazing bathroom enclosed in a rooftop aviary in his house. So it takes him a while to get up the stairs, but he's building a personal
Jesus.
elevator.
Personal elevator.
How are you liking the show so far, Mr. G?
I loved that women's match, the tag match. I thought that was amazing. They worked hard. The Gargano Kishida match was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little long. I will say that. I thought it was a little long, but when I go back and rewatch it, like technically.
Oh, Mr. Gonzo, we lost you. Oh boy, it's just me now. I'm not in control of the board, by the way, so I don't know if you guys lost Mr. Gonzo or you guys lost me. I can see myself, but I can't see Mr. Gonzo. He's much like John Cena, very much a ghost. Oh, I'm going solo. All right, guys. How are you enjoying the show? Sorry, Mr. G. It looks like we lost you. I can't control that on my end. I don't have the big board like Andrew does. He probably flushed and it threw the entire thing into the toilet. Ha. Guys, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. You're watching us. This is our watch along for NXT
Okay.
Takeover Vengeance. Oh, you're back. Mr. Gonzo's back.
I don't
What's
know
going
what
on?
happened. It just all of a sudden
back.
just ended.
Dude.
Who fell asleep?
All right, I'm back. You want to see what I
I
got?
disappeared too.
You want to see what I got?
Please.
You
What'd
ready?
you get?
Rich, what is this?
Oh, Lachma June. And
Yep.
Lachma June pickles and olives. Look at
Yep.
you.
Look at
What
me.
a sweet Mediterranean boy right now.
I got a beautiful Mediterranean snack happening right now.
Let me tell you something. Last Saturday, I had a half a pack of Lachma June in the freezer.
Oh, me too. That's where I got mine.
And I was like, hey babe, what do you say we tear into these right now? And that's all we ate the whole afternoon.
Love it.
For those who don't know, Lahmacun is basically like, I guess the easiest way to describe it is like Armenian pizza, where it's flat pita bread, very tasty flat pita bread,
minced meat.
With minced meat and spices like smushed into it. So it's frozen. So you take one, throw it into the oven or toaster oven for like 3 minutes. It gets nice and hot, and it's friggin' delicious. But your butthole's gonna be screaming tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. So here we go. We got Io Shirai defending her title. Is MG Geek alive or no?
I'm alive.
Charlie says he just had gyro and chicken salad and was good. Love a freaking gyro.
I died there
gyros
for a
tonight.
minute. I'm not sure why, but I died.
You know what's really funny? I get asked this all the time from people whenever we say gyro. They say, aren't you guys like kind of Greek? And I'm like, yeah, we kind of are.
Sure.
Right? I got a
I guess so.
You're married to a Greek woman. A
I
very,
am.
very Greek woman.
Yeah.
But
She's
we
so
call
Greek.
it a gyro. We call it a gyro. We don't
Mhm.
call it a gyro. Throughout the
You know-
country, they call it a gyro. They call it actually by the proper name.
Yeah,
We call
it's
it a
true.
gyro in New York.
As Greek as my wife is, I don't think I've ever seriously heard her say, "Hey, babe, let's get some euros."
Gyros. No.
It's
you say
usually
gyro.
hard G.
It's a very
gyro.
hard G. Yeah, it's a very hard G for the gyro. Tony Storm. You know what? I think they need to put the title on her. Did we both pick Tony Storm for this?
Yes.
MG Geek is losing his mind. He's talking to himself. Do you hear this?
I know. What's happening right now? Where are we?
He ran away. He ran away. Here we go. All right.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna go to Jonathan. He's on the air with us. Jonathan, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Habibi?
What's
Ooh,
going
Mr.
on, Poppy?
Jonzo, what's up?
How is everyone doing? Why is MG Geek yelling at someone?
I don't know. I muted him. He's yelling at someone. Big
hope-
shout out to you with all the photoshops that are going on, and you're running the Twitter right now. Tremendous job today.
Yeah, thanks,
Oh,
dude.
thank you. Thank you very much. It feels good to be
Much
back in
appreciated.
LA and watching
you
this
back
at
in LA?
6 p.m.
Are you home right now? Are you back home from the East Coast?
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. and it's great.
How's the pooch doing?
The pooch is doing beautifully.
Yeah?
Actually, I don't know where she is. Oh, there she is. She's laying on the ground.
How's your Valentine's Day going so far, bud?
Me and my left hand have gone on some wonderful dates so far today.
Oh, yeah?
Jesus.
All right.
Yeah, you
Well,
and
thanks
MG
for coming
are in the
on.
same boat. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for coming on.
How about
That
you
was Jonathan.
So, Jonathan, are you enjoying the show?
I am, but you know why I'm enjoying it?
Why?
Because I see how much you're enjoying it. You're normally not this glowing during the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you know
but like
why?
during entrances, you're smiling,
Yeah,
you're having a
look at
good
me.
time, and
Look
I'm
at me.
like, yeah, your energy is rubbing off on me.
Yeah, you know why? Because the show's about to end in about less than an hour. Phenomenal. This is the way to do this.
And you still
And I got
have your night
my
left.
Lockman June. And what we got?
You
one
still
more
have your
match.
night left.
And I have my night left.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
So,
you're wearing a
maybe
medium
you'll-
shirt.
I am wearing a shirt.
You might be able to actually kiss the wife on the cheek before you go
No,
to bed.
no kissing. We sleep in two separate beds. There's no kissing that happens in this
Separate
house.
rooms like Lucy and Ricky.
Separate rooms, separate beds. And like Lucy and Desi. Lucy. There we go. Who's in the ring right now? Tony
Did you
Storm
hear
in the
that?
ring.
Or sorry to cut you off. Did you hear
Yeah,
that
go.
Javier Bardem is going to be Ricky Ricardo in a Lucy
No.
biopic?
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Oh my
He's
God.
in the running. I'm so excited for it. I love Javier Bardem. Guy's great. I think he's going to be a terrifying Ricky.
Lucy.
By the way, Mercedes Martinez
Brian
has
Rose,
a
by the
great
way.
fisherman buster.
Brian Rose in the
Mhm.
chat room. Dan, can we just talk about WandaVision? I have yet to watch it.
Oh
but
my
I'm
God,
looking
dude.
very. I not
Oh.
because I don't want to watch it. It's because I haven't had the time to sit there and kind of binge on this. So
Mhm.
I think tomorrow that's all I'm doing because I'm home tomorrow.
Ooh, nice. It's a good binge watch.
Rich gets his Friday morning. Oh my God! Holy shit! Tweet or text every week now.
You know, it's
Right,
funny.
Rich?
Like I get it from you, my buddy Alex, my other buddy Jonathan, my buddy Victor, and my brother. I have 5 people text me Friday morning at about 10 o'clock in the morning, like, "Yo, dude, did you watch WandaVision yet?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." Which is cool.
I know you didn't watch it. I know you didn't watch it. All I do is go. I think my text to you this week was, "Holy shit, mind fuck," and just left it at that.
So good, so good.
Diving headbutt by Tony Storm
Oh,
onto Martinez.
Martinez looks like
Oh
looks
my
like
God.
Victoria.
Io Shirai with her own off the top.
Ugh.
Let's go. What's going on? 1, 2. Does she take it? 3. She took it.
Wow,
Io Shirai still
wow.
reigning NXT Women's Champion.
Io Shirai, I think, is ready for the main roster, dude.
She
this
was quick.
So here's my here's my did I start a timer? I don't know if I did.
And then I'm dumping out
think I did.
for the main event
wait.
with you guys, by the way. I love you guys, but Rich and I are going to call the main event.
Okay.
And then I'll bring you back on. So perfect. Didn't we agree
I'm
not to
barely
do the
here.
Benoit headbutt now? Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I haven't seen that kind of headbutt in a
Wow.
while. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this spot, actually, by Io Shirai off the railing, platform.
Wow. Good showing from Mercedes Martinez too.
Yeah, very good.
Quick match.
What was that? Was that was like a Bizarro suplex brainbuster, right? That was like a safer brainbuster she just did. Tony Storm just made it out of that one. Very nice. Tony Storm went for the pin. 1, 2.
Great
kicked
headbutt.
out. Yeah. Oh, I'm not. See, you're ahead of me. Yeah, look at this headbutt. Good job.
I can't wait for Tony Storm and Alexa Bliss.
And look at this. Her
Crazy.
off the top is so intense. You know what I mean?
Who's this now?
Io.
Yeah.
Like it's quick. It's not. Like, I'll give an example. When Ricochet does it, he goes up. He holds
floats.
in the air. He floats.
very elegant.
There you
Very
go.
elegant.
Perfect. He floats. Io is like a snap. Opposed,
she's like
and
a
actually,
whip. She's a
other
whip.
side. The other side of that is Jericho's lion salt. Jericho's lion salt sinks like a Led
It's a
Zeppelin
bowling ball.
Oh, it's so good.
It's the equivalent of a bowling ball going up in the air and coming down with such velocity. You know?
True.
Very good women's match. It was quick, which
So
we'll
I'll
talk
say
about.
this. Yeah, I'll say this. Tony Storm was protected there for a reason, I'm sure. I might.
Well, that was
maybe that's why they had a triple threat.
And that's kind of the thing about these triple threats, because I think Tony Storm is on her way up, and I think Io Shirai is really good. You got to protect both. This was the way to do it. Did a very good job at this. Guys, Jonathan, can you call back after the show?
Yeah.
Are you chilling?
next
You
week.
feeling good? Hold on.
I'm feeling
Jonathan,
great.
You chilling? You feeling great? You're
I'm-
back in LA,
I'm-
right?
I'm
Feeling
chilling.
good. Awesome.
I'm
I love
feeling
it.
great.
I love it. All right, guys.
Jonathan, before you leave, what's your Snoop Dogg impression?
My Snoop Dogg impression.
Yeah, give me a Snoop. There you
Yeah.
go. You're kind of sounding like him now.
When the pimps try to give it to you, we're gonna get flagged for if I start
All right,
singing.
cut him off. Cut him off. You're done. All right, you're done.
I'll see y'all in a bit.
All right, I'll see you guys in a few.
Bye.
All right, our producers, boys and girls, very grateful for both of those guys. We've they supply all these photoshops, all these graphics, all these notes. They come from straight from them. But I did want to call this main event with you, and I did want to
Absolutely.
kind of touch on this because this is, we're going to see a really good match here with this main event. 8:52 p.m. here on the East Coast, going into the main event of NXT Takeover, Vengeance Day. Oh, here's the Eli Drake signing.
Great. Scar Happy says he has a question about WrestleMania. Scar
Let's
Happy,
do it.
you can feel free to ask your questions in the chat room. We'll try to get to them. Joe Allen says, so far, this is the worst takeover of all time. I disagree with that. This is a lot of fun. I think this was just I don't think this was a heavily touted show, but it was a fun show.
I have to tell you, the opening women's match was really good. I liked that a lot, more than I thought I would, so it kind of changed everything. The MSK and the grizzled young vets, okay, whatever. Oh, so he's doing the whole same gimmick. I'm hearing this promo for the first time now.
I like his jacket. A lot of good jackets tonight.
Yeah, a lot of good jackets tonight.
Mhm.
Listen to this. Hold on, let's hear it. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst. Listen, I think a couple takeovers ago was worse than this. I don't think this is bad. I also don't think it's spatting 1,000. All right, Lou in the chat room. What do you guys consider to be the worst takeover of all time? They've mostly been great. Yeah, I think that it's hard to say because I would say now looking back, some of the early ones really didn't have a lot of the oomph that the 2016, 2017, and even 2018 era of NXT did. But what would you say, Rich? What would you say is like the worst takeover?
Oh, like I have such a poor memory when it comes to this stuff, but like I'll say this because of the show that we do. I've enjoyed them. I'm enjoying this. I think it's fine. Like I said, it's not like this is not a takeover Brooklyn by any stretch, but it is a fun takeover event, and I think they had to do it because of the schedule going into WrestleMania. I do think this is not going to have as many viewers as it would normally have because it's Valentine's Day and people have families and don't want to watch wrestling unless you're part of a couple that just loves watching wrestling together.
Yeah, which I'm not in. I'm not in that
same
relationship.
Here. Same here. Both of us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think Vicky tolerates it a little bit more than mine.
She's not going to sit down and watch. If I wasn't doing the show and I was like, "Hey babe, you want to watch this with me?" She would say this. No, but you could have it on in the background while I do work.
Yes. You know what? I have the same exact conversations with Jess.
Yeah. She'll be like, "Put it on. Don't get too loud." And I got some work to do. So that's it. Respect my space. Not like she's never been like, "What? Wrestling's on tonight? Yeah, babe. Let's order some gyros." That's never happened.
I would love that. That's my dream. But but back to the question. I think when you look at the early NXT stuff, I would say by today's standard of NXT, it doesn't cut the mustard, but I wouldn't say that they're bad. I got to go back and watch it again. You know what I mean? That's the problem with these. You got to go back and check it out and see what's going on. It doesn't. You may have loved it then in 2015 or 2014, but by today, you're gonna look at it and be like, okay, it was a fine show.
Yeah, like I don't know about you. I think this is a fascinating thing to talk about. Also, like your viewing habits and my viewing habits is like in the last few years have not gone back to watch a full NXT takeover from start to finish. It's usually a one and done for me. And if it's a match I really like, I'll watch that back the next day. But as far as sitting down and comparing and like taking notes and all that stuff, I don't do that. I'm pretty sure you don't do the same thing either.
I know I want to. Oh, nice. They're using that bum 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 bum. First time used. You know who that was? First time they used that sound effect for a big time world title match?
Steve Austin.
It was Bret Hart in a steel cage. I forgot with who though.
With the heartbeat. The
heartbeat, yeah.
Okay.
But I believe they also used it for the Iron Man match.
You are correct.
I'm not 100%, but anyway.
So your viewing habits.
So like I know Brian and Dave, they take notes, they time it. It's like because it's their livelihood. They do it the right way. The way I do it, Pete Dunne looks great, by the way.
Yeah, skinny awesome. Hogan.
So you know what? I'm getting the Pete Dunne here. Look at this. Ready?
Yeah, ready? Do it. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm always ready, man. Yeah, look at that. Look at him. Oh yeah, you should do it. Can you start calling yourself? Can you start calling yourself the Boozerweight?
The Boozerweight. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? I need to cut this hair.
Look at that. You look like the emo's dad when you do that.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna call you this like the most emo dad. You're like the
most
sad
emo
dad
ever. I am a sad
if you
dad.
had black eyeliner right now and you did that, I would just call you sad dad.
You know what? My eyes are so dark. People think I wear eyeliner, so it would work.
So here's a weird thing. Can I just like quickly talk about this? We mentioned earlier that people in the comments will say like really like dopey shit to us, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed is why is this? And we talked about this.
Why we
Why is
wearing
this guy
makeup?
wearing? Why is this guy wearing makeup? And you don't wear makeup, like
I
legit.
know my skin is really
don't. Yeah.
for like a 38-year-old dude, man. My skin is really healthy.
Eye makeup specifically. Like
I
you don't wear eye makeup. You're just
no,
Mediterranean.
I don't wear eye makeup. I wear no makeup. Occasionally, if my skin is terrible, especially in the summer because I tan, I'll put a little bit of like the stuff that
Mhm.
you're not as oily. So it
Right.
like it's like a powder. So it kind of cuts it so I don't
Mhm.
glow when the lights hit. I haven't done that in like 2-3 years.
Mhm.
So this is my skin, baby. Glossy. No, we're not getting
Flossing.
a demon. Josh was wanting to see the demon. We're not going to see a demon.
When's your glow up, Andrew?
My glow up's happening right now, baby, on the F4W YouTube account. I forgot what my point was with the previous conversation. I never finished.
About watching and taking notes and like your viewing habits versus like
Oh.
what.
So,
You
like,
know.
a lot of these guys, like, I know a lot of people that cover wrestling, they take notes. The way I do it, because we do the watch along. So, you
Yes.
can't take notes, obviously, right? When you're
Right.
doing a watch along. But the way I watch it, so we're doing this, I'm having a whole lot of fun, and I always love these shows, unless it's like a total terrible show.
Mhm.
However, I will rewatch it tomorrow by myself.
Okay.
So I get an actual, like, I could think about what I'm watching rather than thinking about what I'm going to say next and looking at the chat room and looking at you and flipping the camera and then looking at Pete Dunne's hair. So for me, I got to rewatch it. I can't, like, the hardest thing now is going to be us doing a post show because we're going to do a post show right after this on our page. Because
it's going to be like a 20-minute.
it. Yeah. But I haven't really watched the show to that extent where I'm looking at like positioning and how the match is and botches, you know, like you're not watching. I'm having fun right now. I have a
baby,
bowl.
I'm having fun too.
I have the most Mediterranean bowl ever in front of me, plate ever.
How's that Lachman treating
The
you?
Lachman June's great. The pickles are great. These are
How do you
very
heat it up?
spicy pickles. My brother made it for me.
Very nice. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen your dad heat one up?
No, because he's not from that. He's not from that area.
Oh, I was
doesn't
gonna
have
say
this.
like, my dad just throws it right on the flame on the stove
Oh,
sometimes.
nice. Yeah, you
Just
know what?
like-
I've done that. No, just on the stove physically.
Like physically on the grates of the stove.
So
That
look at that.
looks
They have
awesome, man.
Pete Dunne really has thinned out. Look at him.
205. You think Balor walks around like this, just like in his day to day, like
I
leather
think it's-
jacket,
Yeah, of
black
course.
underwear, and nothing else?
Dude, you know how hard life has to be for Balor? Have you read the interviews about his diet?
Mm-hmm.
And like for him, a beer is like the worst, is like a big cheat meal for the week.
One
know?
Guinness a week. I remember reading.
Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah, because he needs to
Yeah.
keep the frame. I'd like to see him with a little bit more size.
I don't think it works for him, man. Like he's looked like this for like 15 years.
I know. You know he's old too. He's like 64 years old, Finn Balor.
64-year-old Finn Balor. And this dude, he is in such amazing shape.
All right. Give us your questions in the chat room, guys. This has been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this. So right after this, we're going to be live on our account. Here we go. Big lockup to begin this. Going at it. Balor getting pushed up against the ropes, fighting for control. Balor in control right now. Dunn in the corner. Little tease right there. Showing him he's the man. He's the champion. That onesie I'm not crazy about on Skinny Dunn.
Huh?
Yeah.
What if he has like really big old nips and he's trying to hide them?
Maybe that's what it is, dude. Maybe he has pepperonis. big giant pepperonis on him. That set looks good, dude. I like it.
So do you think something before I make my second statement, I do enjoy the fact that Finn Balor tries to his latest title defenses, it's him doing a lot of mat work and a lot of wrestling, which I
Who,
think is
Balor?
awesome. Yeah,
Balor.
Balor
Yeah.
also has like he's I believe a champion or world class judo practitioner. I might be wrong about this,
I believe,
but
so.
he is studied in a form of martial arts, and I think that definitely helps him when he does his mat work. The other thing I want to mention is, do you get the feeling something is going to happen tonight at the end of the show? Because
See,
it's
I don't
9.
know.
It's 9:03 right now. I don't
How long
see
can
this
they
going.
run?
Right. I don't see this going until 10. I do think you're going to get another 15 and then a major, like something's going to happen, right?
I think probably Karrion Kross comes out and they do a whole stare down or something. And maybe
Okay.
they announce that they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, we're not going to get a debut, right? Because we saw Eli Drake,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big question mark with him, LA Knight. I don't hate the name. Why don't I hate the name?
It rolls off the tongue easily. That's why.
And how do you come up with that name? Who came up with that?
Why not, man? That's good.
No, but I mean, that's
I
a
like-
very unique name. Why LA Knight? By the way, there is a Photoshop of me as Pete Dunn. It actually, this is what I will look like when my hair grows out.
That looks good, man.
It does look good. I'm kind of into this. I want to
is
be a
this-
weirdo with this undercut.
Charlie asks, and we addressed this on the show the other day, is this the first takeover without the Undisputed Era? Yes.
Is it? Since they've been on the
I believe
roster?
so. Since they've been on the roster in some form or fashion.
Where none of them are wrestling?
None of them are wrestling. There's rumblings of Pat McAfee showing up today.
At the end?
Yeah. Somebody said Joe Del Busso says McAfee returns to challenge Balor for Mania.
Oh, Joe.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, but it's not going to be that Mania match has to be Karrion Kross.
Absolutely. Right? I think Cross shows. I think Balor wins. Karrion shows up and demolishes him. Also today, I believe there was an interview released either yesterday or today where Balor said he wants more cross promotion in wrestling. Like he doesn't want to be held to just NXT. Like he wants to show up in other places and have other guys show up.
Like where would you want to go?
Come on, man, New Japan.
I know,
up.
but I think
Just freak out.
No, I think a lot of these guys will love that to happen, but the odds of WWE being like, "Hey, Finn, you want to go to Japan and get more buzz?"
Mm-hmm.
I think it benefits them. I don't think it's a negative. I think WWE would benefit, but I don't know if they would ever okay that. You know, especially now because New Japan's working with everybody except them. It's very tough. So I don't know. By the way, I'm going to share a link right now in the chat room. Following this, we'll be live quickly. We're going to be live. Oop, I did it on the wrong one. We're going to be live on our account. You can head on over there. Also, following us, I believe at, I'll tell you the time. Let me see. I cannot find the time. But about 30 minutes after the pay-per-view, so right after we're done, head on over to the F4W Twitch account. You can check out Brian doing his review of NXT Takeover, Vengeance Day. He'll be doing his. So we're going to, right after this, we're doing it on our page. And then right after us, we'll be done. And you could go check out Brian on Twitch, which is perfect.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Also, send your chat, your questions in the chat. Undisputed
I got another
Era
thing.
or Tessa.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Undisputed, maybe. I think you're gonna get like an interesting ending, but we've been wrong for the most part the whole night. Who knows? I would love a surprise ending. Can I pop you even more?
Yeah.
So let's say this is going back to our conversation we had a couple hours ago about Finn leaving WWE and going back to Japan. Imagine if he calls himself King Devitt.
Oh, he becomes a king. Well, if he wins King of the Ring, he would, right?
You're speechless now. Yeah.
King Devitt. I would love it.
King Devitt. This is a good match, dude. Like, this is a fun back and forth. Pete Dunne, I feel like William Regal must be in this dude's corner, like, big time.
For Dunn? Well, Hunter is, for sure. Triple H loves him. And, you know, he has a kid. He has a wife. He's not as nuts as some of these other guys. So.
Yeah. You know, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
And this is not knocking the product at all, but I don't know if it's something you've thought about. Do you think Triple H goes home and has that work conversation with his wife, and she's like, how are the fellas at the guys and girls at NXT doing? And Triple H goes, you know what? Like, everybody's awesome. I just wish they were bigger.
You know what? Can I give you a scenario?
Please.
I'm curious if that's how deep, but I would say the conversations, they have very different ideas when it comes to wrestling, right? Steph and Hunter. But I do think they don't really discuss, like, they don't get into, like, discussions like, no, this guy should get over, but this one should, you know, like, discussing things like that. But I think they both sit there and bitch about Vince to each other.
Okay, I could see that. Like,
I think that's what they do. The old man.
Your dad your dad was really up my ass today, or some shit like that. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
I think
But you don't.
They probably do that.
You don't think Paul Levesque is going? Man, I love Pete Dunne, but I wish he had like 6 inches on him. You know,
I probably. I'm sure they talk about that. But these guys, where are those guys? Where are those guys that are 6'3", 245 pounds?
They're playing professional sports. Do you think?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Well, you know, I mean, there's a lot to be said about the physical evolution of wrestling, you know, when you think about it, because in the 80s and 90s, like, you were a giant because you, like, not that you were like a washed up football player, but like, let's say like you were an All-American and then you didn't know what to do after that. And then some guy at your gym happened to be a road warrior or something like that, you know, and they're like, yo, you're a big dude. Why don't you come and do what we do for a living? And I feel like that is lost because that's like such a weird, interesting, cliquey attitude to have, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're 1,000 feet tall and weigh 1,000 pounds and can bench press a semi-truck, you could be a wrestler super easy in the 80s, right?
Yeah, very easily.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating, right? Like, before like the breaking of kayfabe, where like right now at this moment, you, Andrew Zarian, at 17 years old, could tomorrow call a training facility and say, I would like to be a wrestler.
Yeah, and they would say, hand over $3,000 and we'll train you.
And then you'd be like, oh, that's it? Yeah, as opposed to like 30 years ago, where it's like you have to know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
And they may break your fingers or your leg or whatever.
Right, and they're going to F you up, you know, or they're going to say, oh, you're 36? Like, dude, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe it just the entry is the entry is way easier, right? Like, you think of Pete Dunne or Finn Balor in 1995, there would be preliminary WWE guys, and that would be it.
See, it's and again, it's not a knock on anybody, because like these guys, arguably, the last 10 years of wrestling is the most athletic it's ever been. These guys could do things that nobody thought could be done, and they're amazing, you know? But I think the stigma in the business is still like, yo, we need big dudes. You know, it's a weird thing, right? Like, yo, we need big dudes. That's it. It's like the sentence you can't get over.
Yeah, listen, they're always looking for listen, we know how this company works, right? Look at a guy like Lars Sullivan. We brought him up before. The only reason why Lars was tolerated was due to his sheer size and just appearance. You will always go farther if you're a Brock Lesnar compared to if you're a Pete Dunne. That's just how it is. But I think that's for every. And by the way, I don't blame WWE for that. I think that's just how all sports go. You know, when you talk about boxing, right? Yeah, the cruiserweights and the lightweights are the ones that have the best fights. But throughout the era of boxing, you know, we're in this boom for boxing again, right? We're in this boom. Yeah, it's not Floyd Mayweather we're talking about. We're talking about heavyweights.
Yeah, look at like. All right, so like Tyson Fury is arguably like your most famous heavyweight, and he's like a really big dude. I often find myself, I don't know if you do this too, I often find myself watching Mike Tyson knockout videos.
Oh, me too, constantly.
From like back in the day. And my wife is always like, I don't get it. Like, what's the deal? I was like, yo, this dude was 19 and he came on the scene when everybody else kind of looked like your neighborhood garbage man. You know, like
journeyman.
Like heavyweight boxers at the time, they weren't out of shape, but they were just like very like bulky and lumpy. And here's this 19-year-old kid who looks like $1 million who will take your head off. You know, I think.
Listen, and then we went into the greatest era for heavyweight boxing. After, I mean, arguably the '90s were one of the most publicized eras. You know, you had guys like Holyfield and Tyson, Holyfield. You had, I mean, the Klitschko's were later. Lennox Lewis,
Buster Douglas, dude. Buster Douglas was the guy who beat Tyson. You know,
on a fluke. So I find it interesting. But again, you know what? One thing that stands out though, we're talking about size. I may take back everything. If you got the charisma, you may get it. Charisma sells it. Tyson was charismatic. There was something interesting about him. You know, you're looking at
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, but the era that they came up in allowed them to be that person. I think now it's a lot harder. I think these guys have a much harder to be a wrestler today than 20, 30 years ago is much more difficult. One, yes, it's more accessible and more people could get in, and the size stigma is not there, but you got to work 50 times harder than you would have. You can't just get you can't rest on the fact that you're 6'8" anymore. You got to give more. Oh my God. What was that?
That was awesome. You can't rely on like, oh, I played football for blah blah blah, because it's like now it's like we're in such an age of elite athleticism that you really have to outwork everybody to get on top. You know, if you want to be like a marquee guy, you have to be like Seth Rollins is a good example.
Was that a brain buster? I don't know what that move was. It may have been, but
I think that was his 1917 or whatever it was called.
Sidewinder brain buster.
Yeah.
So I listen, when you look at this roster, Drew McIntyre, great example, right? Charismatic, has the look, the hair, the body,
the ability.
I mean, in-ring ability. This guy couldn't just get by on being a big guy, because he did. He was a tall guy. He was a big guy, and it didn't work for him. He had to go and reinvent himself and was he ever a bad worker? No, he was always a really good worker, but he had to go and modify what he does. And I think that's the big story here, where you can't just rely on your size. You know, we hear all the rumors. Braun Strowman, we were talking about him before. This match has fired me up, by the way. I'm really enjoying it.
Same here, bud.
Yeah. So Braun Strowman is a guy, by all accounts, should have had that WWE championship for an extended time period as being the guy for that company. But then you start hearing backstage, like, the dude, he goes home, you know? He's not asking the questions that somebody else would. And I think for Vince, he's always looking for those guys that will go above and beyond. Like Benoit, Eddie, small guys, right? But my God, intense and really took this job seriously. Not saying that you should take it as serious as they did. Sean took it very seriously. All the guys that have gotten over to that mega level are guys that took this job extremely serious, and it became their life.
I think you're 100% right. Like, you can't just be a big dude anymore, unless you're a kind of like a legacy big dude, like a Brock Lesnar. But I think you're right. Like, those guys that really have success want to be kind of part of the process. Like, I'll throw Kevin Owens in there. Kevin Owens, you always hear him like really adamantly saying like, no, you know, like, I need to talk to creative, I need to talk to Vince, et cetera, et cetera. Like, he's a part of it. CM Punk, I think CM Punk was like a big proponent of that. You know, like, I think he got away with a lot of stuff because he would talk to Vince or Hunter and say like, look, like, this is how I should be presented. This is how pro wrestling should be presented. I think there was a story of him handing, before the Straight Edge Society, I want to say there was a story of Punk handing Vince like basically 2 years of written television, you know, saying like, this is what needs to happen, you know? And I think that stuff, whether Vince threw that in the garbage or not, that stuff really impresses the boss, right? Very fascinating.
So, Charlie in our chat room says, is Finn Balor balding? His hairline is a bit sus.
Oh boy.
He is a Norwood 2 on the scale, on the Norwood scale. He is a perfect example of a Norwood 2 And there's a big argument with the Norwood scale, whether or not Norwood 2 is a matured hairline or if it's considered balding. I would consider him in an early stages of male hair loss. He is a Norwood 2, though. I consider anything above a 1.5 or a 1.5A to be balding.
What's John Moxley?
I gotta see. I think he's like a 3.
Okay. What's where does it start? Like, is there a difference between?
By the way,
I can't believe I'm talking.
I am a member that stands on the board of the American Hair Loss Association. I just want to let people know this. And I am also a founding member of the Global Hair Loss Summit.
Whenever, and this is legit. Whenever if I show a buddy like a video of ours, they'll go, "Look at the hair on this guy."
I saved it, man. Finasteride.
As like a compliment.
Saved my hair. Big power bomb. Does he have it? No! Kicks out at 3. Didn't realize Finn Balor was 39. Yeah.
We got a he's a July baby. We got a question from Scar Happy.
Let's do it.
Rich and Andrew, for WrestleMania, are they doing 15,000 fans with cardboard cutouts or LED screens in between live fans? Is it going to be invitation only or public ticket sales?
Great question. Multi-layered question. It will be public ticket sales. The NFL model is something that they are probably going to have to follow. There was a story that came out that Vince is not for the cardboard cutouts, but I expect them to do it. I expect them to not just have regular people in the crowd, but I think they're going to have all like previous legends in the crowd like that. So here's a great example. Cardboard cutout of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, R-Truth during the pre-show in the crowd, hand over his shoulder, and he's just talking to him, trying to interview him, and Hacksaw's not talking. You're going to see something like that.
I'm down with that.
What else? Is it invitation only? No.
I know we mentioned the Hacksaw thing. I'm so down with that it's ridiculous.
I'm telling you, if they don't listen, guys, I know that we have friends over there. If you guys don't do it, I will be very disappointed in you. I'm just saying.
I want a Hacksaw. I want a Yokozuna.
Yokozuna cutout. Go with guys that are people that are currently living.
Yokozuna cutout that takes up 2 spaces would be phenomenal.
Yeah, what if they did that? What if they had like a Legends corner, you know?
Oh, Sheiky Baby, Hacksaw,
Everybody.
Sarge.
Whoa, big running kick.
Oh, boy. I'm still a little bit ahead of you.
Are you?
Very fast.
Balor going to the outside, climbing the turnbuckles, getting on top. It's on the top rope. Do we see a coup de grace? Is it time? Go for the coup de grace. Misses. Countered.
Caught in a guillotine choke.
Oh, my God. Joe in our chat room hit it on the head. You know what, Joe? I will give you a 1-month subscription to the Wrestling Observer just for that suggestion. R-Truth loses
pretty good.
The 24/7 title to a cutout. Joe, if you are not a subscriber of the Observer, send me an email. guysfromqueens@gmail.com. I'll get you a 1-month subscription.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's exactly what will happen.
We should film a Mat Men extra where me and you do one lesson at a wrestling school.
I would like to do that with Catalyst Wrestling because they run the seminars before.
Oh, great. Let's do it. When the world opens up, let's do that. I think that'll be funny just to have a camera in there. Yeah. Let's see what both of us can do. I want you to leapfrog over me.
Joe already has one. Give it to someone who doesn't. You know what? I'm going to think of a number 1 through 10. Let's do it that way.
Ooh, chat room.
Thinking of the number. I'm going to text it to Rich.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Okay. There you go. I just sent it to Rich. You guys post that number 1 through 10, and I will give it to the person that does not have a subscription.
Are we doing Discord? I'm only on YouTube right now.
I put it in the YouTube. It's fine.
Okay. Ooh, guys, you are not guessing this number right away.
Let's see. Here we go.
Oh boy, somebody's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No. 1 pick. You guys get 1 pick each.
1 pick each, guys.
Abdominal stretch.
So we're doing it from the YouTube chat?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, cool. So in the YouTube chat, guys, like the first person to get the number right gets a lifetime subscription to
a forever subscription to nothing. 1 month subscription to the Wrestling Observer.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's a cool
You know what?
price.
He runs his finger spot too much, though.
Jeez, guys. Oh,
He just took his fingers and put it somewhere it shouldn't have gone.
it's a number between 1 through 10, guys, in the YouTube. Still haven't
1
gotten
through
it.
10.
I'm very surprised right now.
Nobody's gotten it. Come on.
Nobody's gotten it. It's been like 3 minutes. There's not that many numbers. There you go.
Who got it?
No, he didn't get it because it was his second. It was his second pick.
But he already.
Sorry, Charlie.
Who got it?
Nope. Nobody got it yet.
Nobody got it.
It has to be your first choice.
Yeah, I'm not saying what number it is.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Let's. Oh
Somebody-
my God! I thought he had it.
Somebody did get it, but it was
I'm not
there.
gonna say. What, yeah. So you know what?
was-
I'm gonna do it again. Let's do it one
Okay.
more time. Okay. I'm
All
gonna
right,
send you
all
a new
right.
number.
Guys,
New
we're
number,
restarting.
guys. Start. Go. Boom.
Got it. Okay. Let's
From
go.
this
Starting
point
now.
on. Starting
Yeah.
now. So everybody that submitted a number, do it again. Restart. There you go.
Yeah. Right after Gerardo Montañez is actually right after Jonathan says restart. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. This match is great.
Jeez. Bless you.
Nice. This is awesome chant. A lot of the finger spots.
Oh boy.
No, went for the second one. Nice DDT reversal. Balor going for it. Does he get it? Wow. Nice Enziguri. Another Pele kick. Off the second row. Big kick to the back of Finn Balor's head. Man, you guys are sucking at this number picking.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. I'm resetting it again.
Don't reset
1
it.
through
Just-
10. I'm resetting it. Reset 1 through
right.
10. Do another one. I'm picking another number.
Jonathan, make a quick mention in the chat room that after your comment, there we go. Reset. Great. 1 through 10. Hang on 1 second. All right.
This is
Josh.
I'm shocked.
Josh Coleman with
Josh
the
Coleman
win.
got it.
With the win out of nowhere with number 3.
Bam, bam, bam. I should have hooked it up. Josh Coleman.
Whap,
you
whap,
got it.
whap.
So the first number was 6, and it was a second pick, so I couldn't give it. And somebody got the second number right before we picked the numbers. So now we're at the third one, and Josh Coleman gets it.
Josh Coleman.
Good job,
Liger.
Josh. We're gonna be doing more of these, guys, so don't worry. We'll be doing more
Beautiful.
of these giveaways.
Josh, are you a fan of the Wrestling Observer or
He
podcasts
is.
in general?
He loves it.
Why can't we get Josh
Oh,
on?
holy moly!
Did you
Big
say
double
Billy
drop
Moly?
kick. Holy moly! Going for the coup de grace. Could he get it? Coup de grace by Finn Balor onto Pete Dunne, crushing his insides. Does he have it in him
boy.
to go for the pin? Can he go for the pin? No! Sunday Bloody Sunday. He's going for it.
Ooh. Wow.
Big. Spiked him. And
Poetic,
that's it.
very poetic ending with him hitting the Bloody Sunday on a Valentine's Day pay-per-view.
Yes. A 1916 on a Valentine's Day pay-per-view. On a Sunday.
That's right. They
So-
called it 1916, right?
Yeah. Wow. Very good match. But now what? 9:27 here on the East Coast. The show's going off. Hey, guys, listen.
Wow.
Putting a link in our chat. Head on over to our Matt Men YouTube account for a quick, very quick post-show for this
Very quick.
pay-per-view. And right after this, we will be doing, Brian Alvarez is going to be doing his recap on Twitch. So you could go and follow Brian over there. Let's see where the run-in is, if there is one. All right, I'm posting the
Wow.
link. Head on over there, guys. We're going to be starting it right after this.
Wow. The show's not over yet. Dave in the chat room said the ref is the guy that gave you your Andu tattoo.
And do. Yes, it is. Is that him? Let me see him. Is that Yaya? I swear to God, the guy's name was Yaya. That gave me my tattoo on Jamaica Avenue, and he had just gotten out of prison, and I was 15. So it says a lot about the decisions I was able to make.
You got that tattoo when you were 15?
I was. It was
Wow.
like a week shy of me turning 16.
You know, I don't have any tattoos, man.
Smart. It's the dumbest tattoo I've ever seen in my life. It looks
I hope
terrible
Finn-
too.
I hope Finn's okay. He's mad stiff.
He can't move. That's why he's making that pose. He has to poop.
What a champ.
Yeah, man.
That
I don't
belt
like
looks
that it
great
has-
on him.
I don't like that it has the WWE logo on the top though.
Same here. I think that's stupid, man. They're
And the
just like
turnbuckles,
branding.
too.
Yeah.
I see, like the turnbuckles. I don't know why they run the WWE turnbuckles. It does nothing. We all know it's WWE. Might as well keep. Do we have someone come out?
He can't do the gun fingers anymore.
Why? Because his fingers are broken.
Oh, who's that? Birch and Lorcan? Uh-oh.
Wait, is that why his fingers are like that? Because he crushed them? Oh, here's Birch and Lorcan. Lorcan attacked them from behind. What if Walter comes out and saves him?
What if Pat McAfee shows up?
Throwing Balor back into the ring.
Listen, I wouldn't mind a Walter cameo right now.
Who shows up? Who's coming out? Maybe Undisputed Era? To rescue him? Because we've seen that alliance over the last couple of weeks.
I'm going to say Pat McAfee shows up to put the boots to Finn, and then Cole comes out to save him. Somebody said beer money in the chat room. Cole said beer. Josh Coleman said beer money.
He loves beer money. He's a big James Storm fan.
Beer money was great. Uh-oh, who's this?
Ooh, Balor's knees bothering him.
There we go. Undisputed. Slowly running out to save Finn Balor.
I know. Here comes Undisputed Era. All three. 3? 4? How many people are there?
It's 3 without Bobby Fish.
Where's Bobby?
Huh. Very interesting.
Hogan for the save.
Brother,
I'm here, brother.
Brother NXT, right? For life.
Where is Bobby Fish?
Oh, here comes a handshake.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
my
did
new-
tell me that.
Hey, man,
Is
you
this
kicked
the
my
new
ass.
Undisputed Era?
It's Balor Club, right?
This is the new Balor Club? Two guys, and again, Bullet Club still in every promotion.
Just the winners, right?
Yeah.
Bullet Club or Bullet Club associated acts, kinda. You're my dude.
Oh,
You're my guy.
Fish is injured.
Okay.
They're gonna kiss and hug. Look at them, best friends now. Nice mullet on him now.
Are they gonna too sweet? Are they all gonna too sweet right now?
Yeah, but with their peaches though.
Mm.
Adam Cole has taken a nice little back seat to this.
Oh, wait a second. Did he?
Is he doing it? Whoa!
Very nice. I'm a little ahead of you. That's why I didn't want to ruin it.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Kicked him right in the kisser.
Big old super kick. Ooh, super kick to Kyle O'Reilly.
Holy moly.
Oh my God.
Eat it.
This is it.
Crappy super kick to Kyle O'Reilly, though. That was not a good super kick.
Is Cole going to turn on Roddy now?
But what does Roddy do? Oh, is this the beginning of the Balor Club? This is how they do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Good. They saved him for the end. Very cool moment.
Very cool. You know what? Good job. I didn't think it was happening. It caught me.
Good. It happened. So now you have Roddy kind of stuck in the middle.
And Roddy doesn't know what to do with his shitty little boots.
Good move that now that Bobby Fish is injured. Good move to have them kind of do. It's time.
Great storytelling with that, huh? Very
It's time.
suspenseful.
Very good,
Very
very good.
suspenseful. All right, guys, listen, this was a hell of a lot of fun. Do us a favor. Post the link. Head on over to our Mat Men YouTube account. We're going to be there now in about 3 minutes. We're going to be heading over there to do our quick post-show recap of this. That'll be going live probably right after this. So we're going to switch accounts and see you there. Guys, by the way, I want to thank everybody in that over at Wrestling Observer and F4W. Thank you for everything. This was awesome. We'll be back with another watch along, most likely Elimination Chamber, and definitely AEW's Revolution. We'll be there for that. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Zarian. You can follow Rich, BTC Rich.
Yeah,
Mat
baby,
Men
yeah, baby, yeah,
Podcast
baby.
on Twitter. We're everywhere podcasts are available, and we'll see you all next time. Love you guys. Head on over to our YouTube. Here's the link. See you there.
See you in a minute.